Welcome in, everybody, to the Otter Rhythm Fantasy Studios. I'm Jamie. That's Eli, and we have a guest appearance from our side man, Donovan. I think is he a side man or is he a co-host? Which one is he?
Watch how you describe me there. I'm not your side piece.
He's kind of the third wheel tonight, but
that's all right.
Best third wheel two guys could have.
Yes.
Come give me a big kiss. Come here.
Yeah.
Whatever. Welcome in, everybody, to the Otter Fantasy Studios. But yes, we're gonna do something a little bit different. If you guys haven't, we just got done doing all of our 8 weeks worth of divisional previews. You can catch those on the YouTube. I have a playlist for all those little tasty, people that want to watch or whatever. You can kind of put it that way. But yeah, we have a Discord link. We have a bunch of other links too as well. We have if you don't like our live stream, but you're more of an audio person, go over there and we have our Apple and we have our Spotify as well. The Google thing, who cares? That's kind of long gone. I'm sure whoever has Androids, they can find something to find our pod on. I'm sure because Donovan, I know, has an Android. So
I'm the Android man.
So I'm sure you could probably elate on some people too where they can actually find our podcast on.
Yeah, there's I believe the Google has its own podcasting service. Otherwise, which you can get through your Android. Otherwise, I use Podcast Addict. That's always worked very well for me. Those are the two that I know right away. So if you got an Android, you're not left out in the cold here. There is a way.
If there's a will, there's a way to find us.
Don't let those iPhoners take you over. We'll rise up and we'll keep fighting.
You there, sitting at home, acknowledge me.
Must be a Wisconsin thing.
It must be.
It could be. It's a well kept secret up here in the North Woods of Wisconsin, and only the best for us.
Here's I won't say it out loud, but if you take the Chicago Bulls logo and actually turn it upside down, there's something in there you guys can probably see. There's a little robot and a crab. Just just visualize that.
It's our Android man.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, you can catch us in most platforms. You can, we would appreciate a like and subscribe as well. But yeah, we have Instagram too as well. I think the link is down there too. I'm not sure if it is or isn't, but just type in Otter Rhythm Fantasy. You'll find us on Instagram. But yeah, other than that, I think that's kind of covers introductions. I know Donovan, he's kind of more of our baseball guy. He's kind of here and there, and I'm like, oh hey man, you want to jump on with us? Sure, So like, it's been a minute, so might as well, yeah. So it's kind of nice to actually have a third on the show, not just Eli.
he's had his Wheaties. Okay, he's been most episodes. He gets 30 seconds in, he starts fumbling around. I got to pick up the ball, run it 80 yards for the touchdown. But today, Jamie was just going off there, and he was talking some smack off air too to me and Donovan. So
he's coming hot today.
Turnabout is fair play. So we'll
he got his sleep in today.
The two of us, we're keeping receipts like Robert Saleh, okay? We're,
yeah,
like LA Knights says. Yeah, what do you got there? What do you got there? Are you boys drinking anything? I know Jay's got to go. Donovan, do you have anything to wet your whistle there?
I'm just on the water, so
I'll be drinking water later. So this is my get go, and I had Jimmy John's.
It's his go-go juice.
yeah, it's my go-go juice. But other than that, today we're just gonna do it's popular best ball drafts and stuff like that. So we're gonna do a best ball kind of a mock, for the people who actually haven't. But yeah, it's kind of our agenda today. We'll pop up a few things here briefly, but we're gonna hit up some news and notes here real quick, and then we'll kind of get into our mock best ball draft.
Waiting for this. Tonight, just to kind of piggyback on what Jay was saying, doing a best ball draft. Donovan told us that he's only done, I think, one of these before. So
I've done a few, but yeah, and I have more coming yet. But yeah, I haven't.
this is
baseball mode.
Yeah, but August. He's locked in.
Sweet Jesus.
Sweet Jesus, like you'd expect him to be. And obviously we'll let Donovan kind of share. Maybe if we have a little time later, Donovan can let us know what's going on the baseball side. Over past the All-Star break now, so see what's going on over there. If there was any big deals over the trade deadline, or what you can expect maybe towards the back half of the year, if there's any call-ups or anything. So maybe we'll get to that as well. Let him get his 2 cents in.
Sure.
But for football wise tonight, I think it's good to have Donovan, that he's only done a couple of these, so you get a little variety. I mean, we know Jamie's a whore. Jamie's a draft whore. Jamie's done a million of these things. I've done a few. Yeah. Donovan's done a few, so you get a nice variety here. So whether you're the serious fantasy guy that's in 20 leagues, or you're the casual guy who's in a couple, if you come across us, I mean, this will be a good mock, and we wanted to do this. It's still August 7th, so we wanted to do this before we know the Bears and Texans played last week, but before the preseason got going and some injuries happened, because there's a little bit we're going to report on here in a second that might affect the upcoming draft. But we got some goodies tonight. Get a mock in, and then we'll have to see about next week and the rest of August what we're gonna do. But I in best ball right now, to me, I don't know if you guys agree, best ball is kind of the hot thing. It's set. Basically, remember those old Ronco commercials? You set it and forget it. That's best ball here.
Congrats. Here's your Oakleys.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like Eli. Like he'll draft and he'll just vanish. So this was a perfect platform for him.
This was tailor made for me. I mean I could do like 10 different fantasy sports now with this best ball stuff. I mean, baseball, basketball, NASCAR, golf, anything, like hockey. Just you draft good, you'll be set. You're fine, and then you come back for the end of the season or playoffs, and all right, let's get back. Let's get into it. Let's get into the grind.
There is no grind when you're not picking guys off the waivers.
I'm saying. I'm leaning back, sipping some tequila or some wine. Just letting it bake, baby. Letting the team bake.
But Eli, do you have any news for us today?
Yeah. I was sounding like LA Knight again. People are gonna get sick of that sound effect if we keep doing that. But it never gets old. It's kind of big news, because I would argue he's probably the Colts' number 2 receiver. So Josh Downs is out 4 to 6 weeks, which theoretically you think would probably take him maybe through the first 2 games of the season, roughly. He's kind of a heavy hitter. We're not talking about a number 5 or 6 receiver here. I mean, Josh Downs was going to get some serious targets with the Colts this year, especially with a healthy AR5. You'd expect. So, teaming up the Adonai Mitchell with Downs with Pittman Jr. All those guys. So I don't know. You guys have any thoughts on him? And then the other injury of note would be Rondale Moore, and that just happened today. And then Jay was just telling me before we went on here that he went off in a cast. So that's the newest update on the scroll on the bottom. Rondale would, guys, maybe a number 3, number 4 receiver with the Falcons. So
yeah,
I mean, these
more than likely.
They're not like, I mean, this isn't like CeeDee Lamb going down, or Dak or Josh Allen, any of these level guys. But I mean, these are still guys that were going to get serious targets with their respective teams. Any thoughts on the Downs or the Rondale Moore injury?
I was just gonna say, the Rondale Moore, it probably won't bother me too much, only because I'm just trying to think here. I don't really like Atlanta in the first place. I mean, Rondale Moore is kind of more like your deep league flyer, really. I mean, in my eyes, that's my thoughts on Rondale Moore, really.
Like he was with Arizona,
Yeah, pretty much
the same role.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think I'm not sure who bumps up in this situation, because he did go off in a cast. So it really
he's fucked. You go off in a cast this time.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it was apparent leg injury or something. So it's one of those things where it's kind of like, oh, all right, snap, crackle, pop. But yeah, I didn't see that come as notification. I didn't know what really happened there. I didn't really dig into it. All I seen is Rondale Moore cut it off in an air cast. I'm like, oh shit. Well, that must be serious if he's cut it off in an air cast.
Well, they had a young kid that I was talking about when we did our previews. If you want to go, guys want to go back and check that out too. Was that time about 3 weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks, something like that, when we did the Falcons and the NFC South, something like that.
Yeah.
I talked about Casey Washington. He was the young, 6th round draft pick they just took this year. So Casey Washington, this might benefit him because he would have been fighting with Rondale for that 3, 4, 5. Because I don't think we mentioned this too. Like I said, it's going to be Mooney and Drake London. They're going to be the top 2 guys, and then Kyle Pitts, obviously, for the 3 main guys in that offense for targets, and then Ray McLeod. Come on now, I mean he's a nobody. Hodge, Kadero Hodge. Ick. I remember him from the Giants, and ick. In terms of that. Casey Washington, and he's going to be, and he had no best ball value at all before today, as of probably an hour ago, because I just learned the news from Jay about the cast. So Casey Washington had 0 best ball value. He was a dynasty league guy. Maybe your taxi squad. Kind of keep around, see what he does. Let him bake a little bit. But now, Casey Washington could end up as the team's number 3 receiver. As crazy as that sounded a little bit ago. So keep an eye on him. And then for the Colts, maybe some Alec Pierce. I mean, for the first 2 games, I mean, you'd assume AR5. Either it's going to benefit a guy like Alec Pierce, or AR5 is he's just gonna do it all himself. He's going to be Superman. He's going to put up some of those, 29-point fantasy games like he was doing before he got hurt last year. So it might just be a one-man show. He might be running for touchdowns, running for yards, throwing through the air, hitting the rookie Mitchell or Pittman Jr. maybe. So, and like I said, we assume Rondale is going to be possibly season long, and then we assume, or at least a substantial amount. Downs probably just a couple games, so just a filler there.
4 to 6 weeks with Downs. So I mean, so there you could probably like toss in your freaking Alec Pierce's and your freaking Adodyne. Adodyne will probably see a little bit of bump in that situation there. So he might maybe go up a round or 2. Just because Josh Downs is he'll probably be injured. So 4 to 6 weeks from now. So I mean that's probably. Maybe week 3 when he.
That's what I would guessing.
Yeah,
just to be safe.
So the first 2 weeks probably Adodyne and Alec Pierce more than likely. So
hey, before I refresh here, I'm going to refresh because it looks like I'm frozen. I'm not that still of a person. I've been moving. I promise you the whole time. I am not a statue. They did not just put me in here as a statue. I'll refresh when I'm done here making my comments. But Rondale Moore,
disembodied voice.
That's right. I'm a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah.
And more emphasis on the dummy part right now, apparently. But so Rondale Moore going there. I think for me that hurts on my dynasty because I was actually picking him up and seeking him out in the hopes that I could turn him into a little extra value in the year. Nothing major, right? A little bit of back end draft picks and hoping I could turn those over if he got hot. And so that kind of hurts because I picked up quite a few shares. I have a large number of dynasty teams. And so that was somebody I was really seeking out. So that one kind of hurts for me, especially with some of the news in the beginning of the year that, they were excited to have him and kind of wanted to use him gadgets. It would have been more like Arizona, but I was just hoping he'd come out of the gate hot and then, I could sell them off right away. So that kind of hits the pocketbook there as a lost investment. But then Josh Downs, probably only a couple of weeks by the numbers right now, but we got to remember it's an ankle injury and he's a wide receiver. So, that's kind of a big thing. So if he does come back, that's great. but is he going to come back at 100%? That's the piece that might hurt us, as he will roster him and he'll only be at 75% and not being able to do his 100 targets like he had last year. That's my only fear with Downs, and that's why I'll be pushing him way down. I won't even touch. I don't like injured players in football, coming out the gate. So
I was going to say, guys, that's great analysis by Donovan there, and I hadn't thought about that. Adonai Mitchell, this is gonna change his best ball.
His value flies up.
I mean, Adonai Mitchell he's going to be eating, because it was going to be him and Downs fighting. I mean, Michael Jr. is the feature guy. Like we said, he's not an elite one or anything. He's more of like a 1A or a high end 2. But he was going to eat. He was going to do what he does, get his 130 targets. But it was going to be between Mitchell and Downs for that number 2 spot, and who got and Downs repeating his 100 targets possibly. So a lot of that, yeah. And Alec Pierce, I think, is more of a deep league guy. I know with the injury he bumped up the receiver 3, but Adonai Mitchell is probably the biggest beneficiary, like receiver wise. I think AR5 himself will be a beneficiary. But Adonai Mitchell here in this upcoming mock draft, I'll be interested to see where he's at, because Donovan made a good point. Yeah, I mean, is he going to come back? Because it was already neck and neck. Now, he, especially with AR5 being a young guy himself, is he going to build maybe a rapport with Adonai Mitchell, and then that becomes his guy? It's Mitchell to Richardson, for most of the year, and Downs just kind of takes a back seat when he comes back.
And let's not forget the constant factor in that offense, and that's Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to deal with JT as well, but
right. I mean, so hey, we have option 1 and option 3B over here. So yeah, let's just use Jonathan Taylor, right? Like, let him open it up and do what he does. Maybe he's back to his high catch, at least start to the season. Because out of necessity, right? Maybe they don't push Adonai Mitchell, but I'll be pushing Mitchell up on the potential, and also I'm going to take JT where he belongs finally, instead of that hovering where all the rookies are starting to get the hype early on, and JT's seeming to fall slightly. I'll be grabbing him where he needs to be now, because I think that's going to be a big boost for him, especially out the gate.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that too. I mean, as LA Knight would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I think JT's either
tally's at 6 now, Jay. Yeah, that's 7.
But I think he's going into second round. So I mean, other than that, I think that's his ceiling. He is pretty much his ceiling is second round. So I mean, most people could probably end up getting him in the second round more than likely. Third would be kind of pushing it, because unless you're drafting with people that are really not knowing what they're doing, third round would be quite a push. But second round is good value for him, especially if Downs is going to be going down. They'll probably end up doing a little bit more running. And with AR5 being there, of course, that kind of mix things up too a little bit.
Yeah, so we did Rondale, and then
Downs.
I don't know. You guys have any concerns about Puka Nacua? It was just a knee thing. I think he's just week to week. I don't think it's going to affect week 1 or anything. Any worries about Puka at all, or what you've heard or anything?
I think it's just kind of a week to week thing. It didn't sound really serious. So I mean, I'm sure people are not going to overlook this. They're still going to draft him where he's been getting drafted at. So from the sounds of it, just kind of a small minor thing. So there's going to be caution with him. So he's not playing no preseason or anything like that. So I mean, they want him ready for week 1. So
known Puka Nacua hater, but knee injury. If they're saying he's ready for the season opener, it can't be too serious, and it's more precautionary. Puka's value rests on Cooper Kupp, is what it really boils down to, and it rests on Matthew Stafford. So it's going to be an interesting offense with Kerryon Williams. Can he keep it going? And does Cooper Kupp bounce back and be healthy all year? And is his knee okay? It's a weird situation. I think you still need to draft him fairly high. I don't draft him as high as he's going just because I'm a hater, and that's only because I was totally wrong on him, and that's why I hate him.
Yeah, this is per RotoWire. It says this is from McVay, saying that it just really had a little bit of a burst of sack kind of burst in it. Adding there's nothing serious, nothing structurally wrong with the wideout's knee. Kua made an early exit from Sunday's joint practice with the Chargers, but he should be ready to go for week 1. So I think they're just going to do kind of he's just going to be cautious with him. So he might do some light practicing here and there, but they're going to be really super cautious when they need him for when it really counts. These preseasons not really not like it really needed. It's mostly for the guys that want to make the 53-man roster kind of thing,
Yeah, and we would have, like we always say, preseason's kind of pointless. 10 years ago, and Puka's got to get at least maybe a couple series in the third game, or you know what, McVay doesn't play any of his guys anyways, so I wouldn't expect to see Puka in any of these 3 preseason games. He's going to be ready for week 1. This shouldn't affect anything. But like I said, we like to, preempt the draft and let everybody know like what's going on so that you can, pick, buyer beware. Basically, it's like we're letting you know ahead of time. Hey, Puka's this, Rondale Moore is that, Josh Downs is that. And then there's one more. It's not exactly an injury, but a guy that's coming off an injury, and he used to have a little bit of fantasy value a couple years ago. Mike Williams, who was a stud number 2 with the Chargers for a bunch of years. Jets have him now. He's off the PUP list. Coming into this best ball draft, like we know Mike Williams, we know his value is somewhere around receiver 50 or 55, somewhere in that range. Maybe, the Tyler Lockett's of the world, kind of in that range. Is there any chance that Mike Williams might be a steal with Aaron Rodgers being here? Are there possibly some 100-yard games that we're not seeing? Because that's where these best ball bonuses are kicking in. Is a lot of the 100, if you're a receiver, 100-yard game, quarterback 300-yard game. So, maybe Mike Williams could piece together a good best ball season. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll start with Jay because he's the expert.
Actually, I was actually trying. Well, we'll let Donovan go here real quick because I want to see where he's going here quick first.
Sure. So Mike Williams is with him being on the Jets this year. That's kind of having lived through the Aaron Rodgers
circus
craziness circus that was in Green Bay for my entire not my entire life, but his entirety here. It was always like, we're going to get the ball to everybody's going to get a payday, and I'm going to make everybody have a payday, right? I'm going to make you all look good. And he has that ability to make everybody look good. So that's the scary part for me about wide receivers in New York, is that he's going to make everybody look as good as they can. He's buddies with everybody. Now, if you screw up, you're out there with Robin Williams on that island with Wilson, the volleyball, in a hurry. You're a castaway. You're gone. And, so he has the pedigree.
Yeah. It's 8.
He has the pedigree, proven pedigree to be able to handle an Aaron Rodgers type quarterback. Be there when I'm going to throw the ball, and I'll put it in your hands, right? So a best ball style, if things are clicking and he's having a game, yeah, he could have a 100-yard game. I really think he's going to be utilizing, Wilson. Then again, he's tend to like his veterans. So boy, it's a crapshoot for me. I stay away from these guys, but at 50, wide receiver 50, if that's where he's going, yeah, that's a pretty good chance because we know he's done it before, right? So, he had last 2 years of injuries, but that's the NFL, not for long, right? We'll find out. He's just got to stay healthy for 17 games. So,
do you have any thoughts on Mike Williams, Jay?
Yeah, I was just kind of wondering where he was actually going. Since he's kind of on the PUP, that maybe he's just not going drafted at all. But I actually had to take a look at he's going in the 13th round, so pretty much in the double digits. So look at it. That's a huge for a Jets wide receiver. Wilson, pretty much I think he's probably your first or second round to almost 13th round to, Malachi Corley is actually going kind of thing the 14th, 15th.
Receiver 58, actually. So he's a little bit cheaper than we even mentioned at 50. So he's 58.
Yeah.
They got the rookie Corley, like Jay was mentioning. Obviously, Garrett Wilson's expected to have a Pro Bowl, maybe all pro level year. So, and that's the thing about best ball though, is like you don't need either. You just need him to pop a couple times. And this was tailor made for guys in the past, like Gabe Davis. I didn't include. I'm about to do a 5, basically like a bargain 5 or a 5 best bet, steals 5. And so some of these guys, you would have included in the past. MVS would have been included because all the cheap value he was at, and all the random 100-yard games he'd have with Rodgers or he'd have with Patrick Mahomes. So it benefited guys like that just come out of nowhere. Josh Reynolds with the Lions or with the Rams or. So, I mean, it's always been random guys that would benefit. But I don't know. So I don't know if Mike Williams is included because he used to be so good with the Chargers. If he's now like a random guy that can maybe have 200-yard games or something. But I was just seeing what you guys thought.
Yeah, he's Fantasy Pros has him at pick 144. So that would be like 12th round.
Yep.
Superflex best ball that I did, 13.4 he went. So right around that price. And who's going after that? Let's see here. Where did he go? Next pick was Xavier Legette, Gardner Minshew, Justin Fields, Khalil Shakir, Sam Darnold. So I mean, why not, right?
Yeah. Well, I think Shakir I think Shakir is going to have I think Shakir is going to be the Bills' number 1 receiver.
Yeah, no, and this is old now. This is old. So
come to think of it, I was like, some of those names, I was like, yep, Minshew, yep, nope, he junk. Keep going on. And then I see Shakir, and I'm like, yep. I'm like, that's the one guy. Yeah, I wouldn't take Mike Williams over. Shakir is going to be a steal, absolutely.
Yeah,
where he's going.
Hey Eli, check your DMs real quick.
Okay.
DMs. Live on air.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yes. He is here to draft. Yes. He cometh. He wants part of the action. He doesn't want any of that computer bullshit. Like, he wants to be here representing the channel. He wants to draft. He wants to get his best ball on, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. But yeah. Other than that, is there any other news real quick before we kind of jump in? We'll kind of give you guys Eli will give you some names real quick. And I'll pop up a graphic for kind of more for newbies, so you guys kind of understand what we're kind of doing here. So I kind of give a 101 when it comes to best ball drafts, so make it kind of easier, simpler for you. So when you guys do end up in your best ball drafts, you're like, you kind of got yourself an idea what to kind of do instead of just kind of winging it, So this is kind of one of those things I kind of wung it a little bit myself in some of these best ball drafts and stuff like that. But then it's kind of like, a little bit of a roster construction might help you out a little bit when you do draft. I did one here earlier this year. I got, my projections are at the bottom of the league, but that's just projections right now. That might be way totally different at the beginning of the season. So don't let these little projections say, "Oh, your team sucks." No.
Yeah, I don't buy into that shit, because I was projected to go 3-11 in a league a couple years ago, and I went 10-4. So don't it's all computer. It's all computer algorithms. They had Donovan probably going 1-13, and he went 3-11. So sometimes you can gain a couple. Yeah, that's 9. We're going for the record tonight. We're going for 15. It's gonna happen.
It's super important to remember that you're up against a bunch of an algorithm, right?
Yep.
A bunch of numbers in the system. It's okay. You picked. I'm looking at him now, Gabe Davis, and then you picked them at a value, so all of a sudden your score goes up because the next guy ended up with J.K. Dobbins, right? And so they put the algorithm together and they say, you suck or you're great. But like for me, I'm always drafting like a B- C team, because I'm drafting for not week 1, But week 6, when all these running backs are already broken, and I stack my bench up with running backs or whatever it is, so that when the dust finally settles, right, then you have the team that rises to the top. I don't know what you're about to say, but I don't like it.
Then you ain't waving no white flag. You ain't waving no damn white flag. That ain't gonna happen.
Sweet Jesus.
Sweet Jesus. Listen to Donovan. Listen to Jay. Listen to me a little bit. Let's do the top. You know what? Let's get into the top 5 here. You guys know I have a fetish for top 5s, so I've been doing this pretty much since the start of the show. So it's just kind of my shtick. Jay's going to put up the graphic, and he'll explain a little bit how this works. If you're new to Bestball, or right now, it's the hot format. It really is, because it's like we said at the beginning of the show. Set it and forget it. It's the perfect, no maintenance fantasy team. I mean, they're going to take the highest scoring guy, whether he's on your bench and your starting lineup, and they're going to compile it. And so you don't even know. I don't know who to start this week. Do I go with J.K. Dobbins, or do I go with Zach Moss? You don't have to think about that. It's already there's no thinking. I love it. So these are my best steals or my bargains, whatever you want to call it. So I tried to get a little of each position. I mean, I could have went with 5 receivers, and we keep it the skill position. By the way, we know that there's defensive players in fantasy. We know there's kickers, and we get all that, but we always preface it that we don't fuck with kickers and we don't fuck with defensive players. It's skill position, because that's where the money's at. Yeah, that's 10. That's where the action's at too. I told you I'm running out of hands here for LA Knight. Yeah, that's 11. You know what? So I'll start off the list. So based on where they're being taken in Bestball, like I use Fantasy Pros as my jam. Love the Fantasy Pros. So I use a lot of their lists because I trust them, and it's a nice average point from the other places you can get your information, whether it's ESPN or RotoWire. There's a bunch of places to get information, to get mocks, to get lists. So Fantasy Pros is always what I go to. Gus Edwards, I put at number 1, running back 35. Now, he didn't have any 100-yard running game, rushing games last year for the Ravens, but he did have 4 top 6 finishes. So basically that's per week. So let's say one week he was running, he finished as running back 3 that week. Let's say another week he finished as running back 6. Another week running back 2 or whatever. So he had 4 top 6 finishes in 16 games. He missed a game. So that, I mean, basically 1 out of every 4 games, he's getting you a top 6 finish. So, and Gus Edwards is going running back 35. I think that's a hell of a deal. What do you guys think about Gus Edwards being my number 1 bargain?
Yeah, I mean, he would probably fit more. He probably fit better, with him kind of getting the more touchdowns. He probably fit your underdog,
more traditional league.
Yeah, probably more than likely. I don't know if he's the kind of the guy that's going to get you like 100 some odd yards every freaking week, but he's kind of the one that probably fit your underdog. Like CMC would probably be your best for like DK too. I mean, he's kind of fit for that because he's got a little receiving too. So CMC kind of like give you a rough idea. He'd be better for your like DK.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously, what we're going. Yeah. The idea is to go with guys that are going to be cheaper. They're going to be easier to draft. They're going to, CMC, you're probably not going to get your hands on, obviously. Brees, guys like that. So these are kind of more hidden gems. These are kind of, and that's why I preface it, the number of 100-yard games, because I know that's how these guys get their bonuses, for running back, receiver, tight end. So you think he's more traditional. What about you, Donovan?
I think he's worth a shot. I mean, Chargers, whether they like it or not, are kind of going through a rebuild.
They're going to be a running team. They're going to be a running team, Donovan.
They're going to have to be, right? Like,
beat them.
And watch out for Isaiah Spiller. I mean, we got J.K. Dobbins there. We just got a bunch of guys, right? So like, they're in a transition right now that they're kind of forced into, right? They got to clean out the old and figure out what to do going forward. And now with Herbert banged up. I don't know how long that's going to be. I know in Dynasty Leagues, the number one pickup was Easton Stick. So it'd be icky sticky.
Sticky icky.
And that's just insurance policy. But again, like I think this is a year just to keep the heat off of Herbert and keep him on his feet. So run. So I mean, I don't know that you're not going to get the huge, because he's more of a ground and pound guy. But if he can just keep eating yards for you, 3 yards in a cloud of dust every time he touches the ball, it all adds up to 100. I don't really care.
Hey, a 20 point, whether it's with 60 yards and a couple touchdowns or 110 yards and 1 touchdown, like a 20-point week is a 20-point week. So
there's a good chance he gets just as many yards and touchdowns as Achane.
Yeah, exactly. So it all. We know with the bonuses and everything, but yeah, I mean, he had no, like, preface it that he had no 100-yard games last year. It was all like Jay was mentioning, it was all touchdowns. Scored 13 touchdowns. So so basically, you're hedging your bets that he's going to continue that going with the Chargers, and maybe get double-digit touchdowns, which would be great. I think for running back 35 there in the best ball average draft position, I think is great.
But who would you rather, Ezekiel Elliott or Gus Edwards?
Gus Edwards, absolutely.
Elliott. I'm going to Elliott.
What? Zeke ain't gonna have any 100-yard games.
Oh, damn right he will.
Have 8 touchdowns. Are you nuts?
He damn well.
What?
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
That's what I want to do.
All
I
right.
want to put on a fucking Darth Vader costume and just choke you through the gut. What?
So how about this then? Would you rather Gus Edwards or Zach Charbonnet going around the same time?
Gus Edwards.
All day.
Yeah, Edwards for sure. Yeah.
So I'll give you Zeke Elliott because he's allegedly a starting running back.
Allegedly.
I think that they're just gonna use him in different sets, but that's me. So why not? He's the starting running back. Like, there's no question about it, because J.K. Dobbins doesn't have the gas in the tank.
No.
And again, Isaiah Spiller isn't gonna be there threatening his job. So this is a guy that's going to get you 20 touches a game, period. And he didn't have 100 last year, but any one of those 20 touches can go to the house. So
absolutely. All right, boys, just so we can get this rolling along here. Number 2, I put another running back. I put Jerome Ford, because we don't know about Nick Chubb.
I like that one.
I think he's still on the PUP list, and if Chubb's ever going to be the same again, I don't think he will be. I'm hedging that. We've seen the best of Nick Chubb. He's just going to be a complimentary back moving forward. And it's sad because he was great at one time, was a top 5 or 6 fantasy back for a lot of years. But we saw that with Austin Eckler last year. Austin Eckler took a step back, and he's no longer going to be a top 5, top 7 guy anymore. And Nick Chubb is leaving that group too. So, but Jerome Ford at running back 43, he played all the games, but it wasn't until week 2 that he got the job, because that's, Nick Chubb obviously went down week 1, but he had 4 finishes in the top 10 and, weekly. So like 4 times he was at least a running back 10 and above, and he had 200-yard games. So you get a little bit of the bonus with him, and he at times, he was a really good fantasy back, and he's even going lower than Jerome Gus Edwards there. I don't know. What do you guys think about Jerome Ford at 43 and possibly being a steal?
I'm all for it. I sold every single share of Nick Chubb I had for anybody that would buy him.
Yeah, smart man.
He's coming back. He'll be something.
Coming back.
He won't be Nick Chubb.
Coming back as like a 700-yard back. That's what he's coming back.
He's coming back as Kareem Hunt.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
When Kareem Hunt was good.
What?
No, it's for Ford. I for him kind of being that far down and kind of couple 100-yard games here and there. I actually, somebody dropped Nick Chubb in our Dynasty League. I went out and picked him up right away. So I'm holding Nick Chubb to kind of see what happens. So maybe if he kind of comes back and is slightly himself a little bit, I might try to sell him. But other than that, I got some shares of Nick Chubb, and hopefully he'll kind of come back some way or another. But I mean, it was kind of a gruesome injury. But it sounds like it was it's kind of the same what he had before. So it's kind of hard. I'm like, kind of iffy. But I mean, we all do love Ford. I mean, he actually had some decent games last year for sure, even with Kareem Hunt in there. Now Kareem Hunt's out of the picture. Of course, Jerome, Ford's going to be a great value, later in your drafts.
Yeah, absolutely. We kicked it off with 2 running backs there. And if you guys are just tuning in, we did a little bit of NFL news together, and now we're moving into the kind of the pre-draft where I'm doing like a top 5, like, hey, guys are gonna have some value. And like I said, we're drafting right after this. So it's a good way to preempt that. And we're mentioning some other players along with it. If we're mentioning the Chargers, we brought up J.K. Dobbins. We're mentioning the Browns, we brought up Nick Chubb. So we're bringing up other names too to kind of keep an eye on if you're newer to this. T. Higgins, I put at number 3. Now he's a bigger name, obviously. Can you really say T. Higgins is a steal at 30? But
no,
three top 7 finishes in 12 games, and one of the games he got hurt. It was first game of the year. He had no points. So basically, in 11 games, he had 3 top 7 finishes for receiver, and he had 200-yard games. So I think if you get a fully healthy T. Higgins for a full year at receiver 30, sign me up. Just sign me up, because you're going to multiply that. You're going to get at least 400-yard games, possibly 5. And so you're getting the bonuses with him, and you're going to get the points. He's probably going to have, at least 1,000 yards, maybe 1,050, maybe 1,100 on a good day. Throw in 7-8 touchdowns. So and that'll piece together over the course of the year for Bestball. And there's other guys, I mean, that are, you could have thrown in there. Josh Downs was a guy that was in my, but then I'm like, oh shit, he's hurt. What do you guys think of T. Higgins at 3? There,
Higgins is all right. The only downside with him is if Chase is on the field, that's gonna slightly project some of his his upside that he does have, that he kind of does bring.
Even with Boyd being gone, do you think the rookie Burton's gonna take kind of cut into this at all? I was thinking that this was, or Andre Eusebius, I was thinking it was going to be a Chase and Higgins show. Like, and a lot of it depends on Burrow too. If Burrow stays healthy, I think these two guys are
as well
all year. It's going to be Tyreek and Waddle. These guys are going to feast all year.
See, the only thing is that the only time that Higgins actually comes out and actually has a decent game is when Chase isn't there. But when Chase is there, it's kind of totally the opposite. Chase actually he's the one that actually has the great game. Higgins is the one with maybe 6 receptions, 80 yards, and a touchdown.
But do you trust Chase's health? You kind of said it in your sentence there. I don't think Jamar Chase is capable of playing 17 games. I don't even think he's. I would, if I were to guess, I would say 14. I think Jamar Chase will miss 3 games this year. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if T. Higgins is there for those 2-3 games to get it, he's gonna dine. I mean, he's up at the diner. He's got his fork. He's got his knife. He's ready to dig into that country fried steak. So maybe a side of mashed potatoes, some corn. So that's 2. That's 2 of the games right there. And then he's not gonna have a dud every time Chase is out there. He's not. He might have some 45-yard games or something like that, but I mean, he's going to have at least a couple 100-yard games where Burrow just goes off, or Browning, whoever the hell it is, they're going to have a 400-yard game. Oh, is that MJ? Oh shit!
Oh, MJ.
Stars cutted. Man, oh man, we got the stars are coming out tonight.
Oh, yes. They're all aligned. So looking at, I went back to 2022 when Chase was out for a little bit of time there, and looking at T. Higgins and how he stepped up, I guess. In week 8, he only had 6 targets for 3 receptions. Week 7 was the first. Week 7, he had 7 targets, 5 receptions, 63. 8 targets in week 9 for 7, and never went over 100 yards in that frame. So, I guess Jamie's point is right. I think he is not necessarily going to be that 100-yard guy, and I think that's your average with him all the time is 70, 80 yards. hopefully he's the guy who gets you the touchdown, but he hasn't really had the touchdowns either in the past. Now this is going to be a different year in Cincinnati, taking Joe Mixon out of the mix. That was great. And no Boyd there.
Yeah.
Well,
so we've got, no tight end to speak of. So I guess there has to be targets that go somewhere. So I don't see Higgins as that big play guy. And Jamar Chase, to me, is probably the number one receiver in the league, period. So why not feed that beast? And MJ, I haven't had hair since I was 14 years old.
yeah, and that was kind of my.
That's a cheap, easy cut right there.
Can't argue about this haircut. It's never wrong.
And that was my point with Higgins, because I the funny thing is in one of our keeper leagues, I actually end up having like Chase and Higgins at the same time, and I actually tried getting rid of Higgins, and no one wanted him, so it's just kind of like, so I'm stuck. So I actually ended up with both those guys. I ended up keeping them for the rest of the year, and I think I almost won my league, but I don't remember the results of that one. But that was my point. Higgins is only time he flashes is when Chase isn't there. So so if Chase is going to be there, Chase is going to be the guy that's going to be a star here.
It's frustrating because I know what he's capable of. You know what he's capable of. Like, we all know that T. Higgins in the right circumstance could be a 100-yard guy every week, but he's just, so you're hedging that's kind of the top 5. I think that's my biggest gamble would be T. Higgins there. And like I said, there, and that's why this is open-ended. I usually do one guy that, create a little buzz and see if this becomes like a YouTube short or something. Maybe people are like, oh, you're nuts. Go with receiver 67. He's going to have, or receiver 28. He's going to have, much better value. So, but yeah, T. Higgins there, and maybe Chase goes down. I mean, I would hate that for fantasy owners, but maybe Chase goes down week 3 and he's out for the year. And then boom, you just got yourself. I mean, you're sitting with a best ball number 1 receiver. That could be your key to the championship right there, or to make some money, either or. Number 4, Taysom Hill. Now Taysom doesn't. He's a weird guy because, he does a little bit of everything. So you're not going to get any like bonuses. He's not going to get 100 yards receiving. It's not, he's not going to throw for 300. He's not going to rush for 100. But just where he scores at for a tight end 29. I mean, just in regular leagues, he's going tight end 15, maybe tight end 17. I don't know which round that would be. I mean, you guys are better with that. I just think that's it's worth kicking the tires on. Is Taysom Hill tight end 29? Because there were some weeks. I mean, he had 4 top 5 tight end finishes last year. Towards the middle of the year, you could argue it was him, McBride, and Laporta. Those were like the 3 hottest tight ends in the league at that time, the middle of last year. So, any thoughts on Taysom Hill? Maybe kicking the tires on in best ball?
I don't know. He's kind of a long shot. For me, I'd rather have guys that are gonna be a little bit more proven instead of a kind of a gadget guy. I mean, like me, I'd rather have the Kincaids, the Fergusons, the Schultz, even Chig.
Well,
that's just me though.
No. Chig's fine because Chig is like 28, I think. So yeah, Conquo from the Titans, yeah. So, but yeah, obviously you're not gonna get Kincaid, you're not gonna get top 5. We're looking like these are deep. I should have put like Eli's best ball deep cuts. Okay.
Yeah.
Up like a Led Zeppelin album or something. Okay, this is the deep cuts. So yeah, obviously you love a Kincaid, you love a Ferguson because they're gonna eat, they're gonna get you everything you're looking for. But yeah, that's fine. That's a good debate. Donovan, I'll ask you the same thing, and then you can chime in with your thoughts. Would you take a Conquo or Taysom Hill in a best ball? Like if you had to pick between the two.
Having had a Conquo last year in multiple leagues, I would have to, in a best ball too, I'm not going to draft a Conquo and just let him fall and then pick up the scraps at the end. So in the last 2-3 rounds, if Taysom Hill's there, why not? Like, it's the week that you get the rushing touchdown and the
a Conquo.
Yeah, that guy. It's the week that you get the rushing TD or the passing TD out of nowhere that, Chig, I think he had 2 touchdowns all year and a handful of yards. Like, it was a very disappointing season for as high as we drafted him. So if you're not pushing up your tight ends early and grabbing those tight ends early, and you want to just take a flyer at the end, like that, that's where this is a guy that you can grab at the end of the draft and boost up your tight end position at random at any time.
Put your emotions to the side. Don't just out with the old, in with the new.
I think when it comes to him, I think with D-Hop kind of maybe missing a week or two, Chig is not a bad option for something in your best ball draft. That's just me. Willis is going to have somebody to kind of toss to. This is kind of a slight rebuild for the Titans. So I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind, having some Chigs.
To be Malik Willis. He wants. Guess what, bud? Mason Rudolph's going to beat him out too. So your boy Malik's going to be third string.
That's a shit show over there, guys.
Yeah, hell no.
Will Levis all day, baby.
Dallas scrap heap left over. Tony Pollard with the running the rock. And they're gonna frickin' cockblock Spears.
Better question.
Sweet Jesus.
Yes. Malik Willis or Trey Lance?
Hey, Trey Lance. I'll die on that hill.
Trey Lance, 2025,
they got
Tennessee Titans.
They got quite a mess there. Tennessee, and I don't know.
As our friend at the Plaza podcast over there, he says he's going to have a career. Might have a. Let's go back here. Calling it now. A Conco breakout year this year.
He might,
or at least has a career year.
Will Levis, in all seriousness, Will Levis is going to need a security blanket. And if it ends up being Chigakonkwo, okay, because I don't trust these old guys. I said it when we did the Titans preview about a month ago. I said I don't trust Ridley and D-Hop. I don't trust Ridley's anything, and then D-Hop's old. So, and the other receivers to me are junk. So it might be a Chig and Tajay, Tony Pollard. So the running backs and then Chig. Couldn't end up being the offense. So.
What got us in love with Chig was in 2022, he had 32 receptions for 450 yards and 3 scores, right? And a lot of that came in towards the end when he started figuring it out. And then last year, through his entire year,
shit the bed.
77 targets, 54 catches, 528 yards and 1 TD. Like, he got to pay dirt once, and that's not what you sign up for when you're buying a tight end. And he was like my only tight end I was drafting everywhere because I was in love with this guy. Mainly his name, but name only. But I don't know. Maybe it's there. Maybe he got lucky in year 1, but he really didn't prove anything last year. And
I think that had to do with the offense kind of thing, because
unstable QB. Yeah, I mean,
they were struggling. They weren't knowing who Tannehill was kind of there and not there. But let's try Levis. Let's see what happens there. So I think it was just more of a transitioning into just a different kind of style of offense, really.
But there won't be 8 in the box anymore trying to stop Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
9 in the box because they got to stop him and he'll run your ass over. So
999.
It's just different now. It's just different. I don't know. I like the boldness from MJ. And hey, I'm up to draft somewhere.
Do your pick. Do your pick there, Donovan.
Oh, go ahead. I can multitask.
You can multitask. Jay, you were going to say something?
Oh no, I was just saying. I think Chig actually kind of. He's down there farther, but I think he'll be great value later in the drafts. Especially getting him into double digits.
And he's best ball right now, 28, so he's right above Taysom Hill. And you got to call your shots sometimes. Like we're kind of agreed on Jerome Ford, I think universally. Gus Edwards a little, kind of me and Donovan. I think Jay had something different in mind. T. Higgins, I think you guys are like that, probably a little too high for T. Just based on, unless if Chase goes down, then T. Higgins just booms right through the roof. He becomes pretty much like a top 5, 6, 7 fantasy receiver real quick. Especially in best ball. Taysom's right there with Chig. So we kind of have those guys, towards the end of the tight ends. I mean, you don't want any part of, Parkinson from the Rams or Bellinger, any crap, from the Giants, any crap like that. So I think you're getting some good value there, even with Chig and with Taysom. And then, number 5, I put Baker. You could have maybe Geno Smith is 22. You maybe could have put Geno there, but I was like, well, Baker's a spot lower. So, yeah, I'll go with Baker.
Yeah.
That's 13. Yeah, that's 14. We're getting to that 15 mark, man. We're gonna go for 16. We're gonna be the all-time record, just like Ric Flair. Woo! We're gonna reach the all-time record. Baker had 4 top 10 quarterback finishes last year. Played all the games, so he was. I don't mind a guy that's there every week. Because you always have a chance with Baker because we know some of the weapons they have in Tampa. And, he had 3 300-yard games, so you're getting some bonuses with him. It wasn't a lot of dinking and dunking, getting, 210 yards and 2 touchdowns or something. I mean, Baker was, a couple weeks he fell flat, but, he was he's getting you numbers. And at quarterback 23, I think that's some great value because below him is a lot of Daniel Joneses and some rookies. McCarthy, I don't even think he's going to play probably maybe half the year or something. So you start getting past Baker at 23. It's some real question marks. So what do you guys think?
I think we kind of talked about Baker last. I think in our one of our divisional previews that Baker is. He's kind of one of those like kind of not really see what happens, but I think he's got some good value returning and with the Buccaneers re-signing him, and he's got good weapons too. He's got freaking Godwin, he's got freaking Palmer, and he's got freaking
Mike Evans,
McMillan,
the young kid that we like from Washington. He's got some and Kate Otten, he's not a terrible tight end. So, and then you got Rachaad White working out of the backfield, catching passes. He'll catch, 50, 55 balls. So, yeah, he's Baker for that point. If Baker was quarterback 13, I'd be like, it's a little, but 23, I think that's hell of a value.
I would agree. Last year, 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns. And what's different from this year to his 2019, I would call it, 20 when he came in the league in 2018, he had a pretty damn good year. 2019, a little worse it's just that he had 21 interceptions. And last year he only threw 10. So he's figured it out. And whether it's the system or whatever's working down there in Tampa, he's figured it out. He went today at 5'10" in a dynasty that I'm drafting right now. So, the belief is there that he's, legit. He's going to be able to put up what he was drafted to do. And Cleveland was a dumpster fire that whole time he was there.
Talking about past tense,
and then just kept dragging him down. And Tampa shouldn't have been as good as it was, but he made it a relevant team last year in my eyes. I know that kind of hurts for Eli to hear because he's a Tampa guy, but I'll take
what I can get, man.
Tom Brady was keeping that afloat by himself in my eyes, and maybe not. Maybe there was more to it, and Baker Mayfield steps in, and suddenly they have a team down there, right? So,
it was kind of one of those things that I think I was talking about with some other guys here on the X Spaces about Baker to the how the Browns treated him, to him, kind of going to with the Rams to actually finding a team with the Bucks. And he's actually been legit. There's games. He played Green Bay. He lit up Green Bay, 4 touchdowns, 381 yards. So he's got the capability of actually putting up good games. And like I mentioned, he's got the weapons to do so. Which in one of our best ball I did with some content creators, he actually went in the 6th round. So he's kind of floating in between 6th and 7th. It's big, great value for Baker. Watson after him, Rodgers kind of right after him. So it's, Levis is kind of in that same round there too. And we got the rookie JJ. So right in 7th round. So those are kind of some guys are kind of going around his area. Geno Smith, in the 8th, Wilson. So those are kind of some, out of those guys. I mean, yeah, I'll be taking Baker all day. Well, maybe Rodgers. I like Rodgers a little bit more, but that's after. Yeah. If I don't get Baker, then maybe like a Rodgers or something.
Yeah, Rodgers is honestly the guys you listed off there: Watson, Levis. The only guy in there would be Rodgers. Yeah, I'd probably take Rodgers over Baker, or at least in the same realm. I think they're in the same zip code. So
I'm looking at it earlier, Superflex best ball that I did, and it was Rodgers 7.4, Baker 7.5. So
yeah, perfect.
So
if I don't get him, I'll have him. That's what that.
Nice, consolation for each other. Yeah, I agree 100%.
Damn right.
All right, boys. Now let's do the overvalued, and we'll get into this draft in here. So we did the 5 that I think have some good value where you can get them. Obviously, they're not. It's not going to be any top 5 guys. Those are a lot of guys that were, per their position, were late 20s, maybe 30s, 40s. Now we're talking about guys that I think are overvalued. And start with number 1. I know what he's supposed to do because of the weapons he's working with. I'm fully aware of that he's got a stud rookie, 2 proven stud veterans, one really good tight end, 1 solid backup tight end. So he's got 2 solid to good tight ends. Running back DeAndre Swift is serviceable. Khalil Herbert's a nice backup. Like, he's got all the pieces to put up some big weeks, to some 300-yard games, to have, just one of the best rookie seasons of all time. I don't know. Just with him, I have a hard time at quarterback 13. I think if Caleb, besides the fact that I can't stand the guy, like if he was quarterback 21, he would be nowhere near this list. He would have some great value. He might even be on my other value list, but at 13, that's too high. And it's the same reason, I'll just group them together for time's sake. That's the same reason I put Jaden Daniels at 11. Obviously, Jaden is kind of a poor man's, Lamar Jackson, AR5, something like that. So you're thinking with the rushing yards and, maybe on a bad team that's, he's got a few, he got a couple pieces, McLaurin, the receiver, Sinnott, the young tight end. We'll see if he can develop. Not as many weapons as Caleb, obviously, but they have Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels, even with his running ability, is way too high at 11. So I don't know. What do you guys think about 1 and 5 between Jaden Daniels being quarterback 11 in Best Buy and Caleb being 13?
My thoughts on Caleb Williams.
Garbage goober, get out here and eat this garbage.
Those are my thoughts on him. Kyle Pitts
taking the garbage out.
I probably won't be drafting any Kyle Pitts either, but my thoughts on Kyle Pitts.
Garbage goober, get out here and eat this garbage.
Stevenson he's kind of wishy-washy. We don't know what we're really going to see with the Patriots. I mean, he will be the RB1 there. I don't know if I'll draft any of him. I'll probably overlook him anyways. Jefferson, yeah, he's going to be going no matter what. And Jaden Daniels, I'd probably take Daniels over Caleb Williams just because we don't know. He's got a little bit of the running capability, and I'd rather know the unknown with Jaden Daniels.
So yeah, Williams, we got to remember we are 1 year removed from Justin Fields taking a sack just about every other play.
Yeah.
And has it changed?
Because he couldn't read a defense.
Well, maybe not, but has the offensive line changed? They didn't have anything over there. I don't think it's changed.
Just a bunch of weapons.
Froze again. Jeepers creepers.
Yes. For a year 1 guy to step in and to be, I mean, AR5 was a whole different, and he only got 4 games out of him. Maybe, I mean, we all have high expectations for Richardson, but maybe he goes down after 5 games again this year. We don't know, but we saw a spark. We're like, if this guy stays healthy, we're talking top 5 fantasy quarterback. I mean, we're talking Lamar, Josh Allen, all rolled into one. Jalen. I mean, this AR5 is going to be right up there. I don't know about Caleb and Jaden Daniels if they have that year 1 where they can just pop it's off the charts. And even CJ Stroud, I mean, he's more of a cerebral Jared Goff kind of quarterback. So he didn't even really pop off the screen. It was just very, very productive. And I don't know. Daniels he'd be the flashier guy of the 2. Obviously Caleb's got a bigger profile, bigger name, but I just think these guys are where they're at and I go off what what Fantasy Pros was projecting them at. 13-11 is too high. If they were 19-21, I'd have no issue.
Yeah.
Or 17 and 20 or something. I'd be like, they wouldn't even be anywhere near the list. But I mean, there's some guys that Jaden Daniels is over that I'm like, yeah, no. Tua, say what you want about Tua, but the guy's gonna put up 4,500 yards and at least 30 touchdowns out of Miami.
And he's only going to throw it 13 yards at a time because Tyreek Hill will just take it the rest of the way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't have to do the work.
I'll take Tua over both these guys, and Tua's at 14.
So Williams probably is going ahead of Tua, and he's got every tool in the toolbox. I think he's going to have success. I just think we're drafting him too high overall. I think it'll come eventually, right? Jaden Daniels, it's the opposite. I don't know that he has all the tools, but I think his legs will keep him more honest, and he's going a little later. So in a best ball as your second QB, I'll support about where he falls. I think that's fair. Pitts to me, I guess it's gonna have to be, well, now that we talked about earlier with Moore out, oh boy, there's a lot more targets to go around, right? 40 or something. But anyway, this Cousins could unlock him the potential that he should have. That's a possibility. Now,
and it's Donovan. It's all, to kind of piggyback on Kyle Pitts. I'll let you get back to your point, but so he had no 100-yard games last year, but he did have 3 top 6 tight end finishes. Now we know tight ends don't have the same number of yards and targets usually as the receivers, so it's a kind of a different scale, but it's all potential there.
London and Pitts are some of two of the biggest risers off just off-season news. Period.
What people are thinking. Right. I mean, and somebody's going to benefit. I mean, you have Cousins and Penix. I don't think. I mean, a lot of other things are going to fail the Falcons, I think, or sink them. I don't think it's going to be their quarterback position because, I mean, they got obviously Penix on the bench and they got Cousins. So somebody's going to rise up. I mean, somebody's going to benefit, whether it's Bijan, just, he pops, just becomes a top 3, right up there with CMC and Brees, or it's Drake London. Drake London finally takes that next step and becomes maybe a top 15 fantasy receiver. So, I mean, there's going to be somebody. And all the experts seem to think it's going to be Pitts. It seems like you think it's going to be Pitts. Jay hates him. I don't care for him either. But yeah, go ahead, Donovan.
That's okay. Pitts will benefit. I don't know that he's going to be the dude. I think he's still probably a little high for what he's going to get. I think
yep.
We got a lot of hype when he came in. He disappointed. The next year he disappointed. This year he gets his hype back up again and it's pushing him right back up where he was in year 1. Like, I don't know. It's just
screams 2022 to me.
I think he's too high. I don't think he deserves that top 3 tight end label that he's being slapped on right now. So I would agree that he's a little high. Ramondre Stevenson, just if the offense gets going, I guess, but he didn't prove anything last year, and he was the only thing there. He was the dude, and he didn't do anything with it. So I don't see that being a very good outcome either. In fact, the bling before I picked Will Anderson, a defensive player, instead of Ramondre Stevenson in my startup dynasty.
Repeat that. You took a defensive player over Ramondre.
That's 100% in a dynasty startup. So, and then Justin Jefferson. It's a scary situation this year with all the changing stuff there, and he might end up being a little overvalued this year and slip. And next year he'll be a value off-season dynasty style. Like I'd probably be looking to maybe make a move with him, but
okay.
Right
now, guys, I was gonna because Justin Jefferson might be why is Justin Jefferson on this list? Well, because you gotta have somebody that creates a little buzz. Last top 5 it was T Higgins and now this time it's JJ. But okay, CeeDee Lamb is number 1 in best ball receiver 1. So we wouldn't argue with that. CeeDee Lamb he's better than JJ. Chase, that's whatever, that might be a wash, but Tyreek better than JJ. I think St. Brown's going to put up better numbers this year than JJ. So that bumps JJ down to 5. Garrett Wilson is at 8, but I think Garrett Wilson could have a better year than JJ. AJ Brown, probably a wash, maybe less. Not as high on AJ Brown. Yeah, that's 15. We're reaching the record, baby. We're at Cena. Or Cena got 16. I forget. Puka, that's, we'll see if he can, sophomore slump maybe, or he repeats. That's could be questionable. Marv Jr., rookie. Drake London at 10. Drake London's way too high at 10. Chris Olave. Yeah, so JJ would probably be slotted in at 6. So, I mean, it's not like he's super.
It's not egregious.
Value, but I just think his name value, because of that, he signed that record contract. And I think his name value is it's going to push him over the edge. And he did, in his defense, of the 10 games he played last year, he had 5 top 10 receiver finishes, and he had 500-yard games. So, theoretically he should hit, but that was with, you're throwing in, as long as Jordan Addison's not getting any more Deweys. You got Jordan Addison, you got TJ Hawkinson, and you have fucking Sam Darnold and possibly a rookie at quarterback. I'm sorry, this ain't Kirk Cousins. Even some of the Jaron Hall and Josh Dobbs or whoever the fuck else was. Who's the other Nick Mullins? Some of the other clowns they had playing quarterback. Okay, I just see a small drop off this year. Yeah. So if you think he's going to be up there with CD and Tyreek, you're dreaming.
So in with our the best ball draft I did with our content creators.
Yeah, where's JJ going?
He went into the 10th pick off the first round. 10th.
How many receivers went above him?
2. Lamb and Hill. And then you have Chase after him. That was a swing pick. St. Brown, Wilson, Harrison Jr., and Nakua, and then AJ Brown. You kind of that first 2 rounds there.
And at Superflex, I took him at the 18th pick overall. So,
we have a wonderful question here. Why is London getting drafted as a top 12 wide receiver when he never finishes the season better than wide receiver 31?
Danny D, that's what we've been saying we said it all show. We said it when we did NFC South. Yeah, I mean, we would hope so with because everybody keeps making excuses for this guy. I don't know if it's because he's an SC guy or he's 6'5", or people just, he was a 9th overall pick. He's got some talent. I mean, people just want to defend Drake London. Maybe he's not. Maybe at the end of the day, he's a number 2, and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe he can be a high end 2 with Cousins. He's not a 1. He's shown nothing in the couple years that he is a 1. He's not. But we're thinking with Cousins having to feed somebody, especially with Rondale Moore maybe out. We have our questions about Kyle Pitts. Who else is gonna fit the bill? Darnell Mooney, please. So it's it's coming down to between Pitts, Bijan and London. So it's got to be London. And conversely with JJ, I think his numbers are coming down. I don't think he's any less value. You could argue St. Brown, Chase. He's in that mix. He's not CD. He's not Tyreek, but he's in that next, that 3 to 6, 3 to 7 level. He's in that. I mean, there's no argument there. But Drake London, and he's receiver 10, and where Jay said he was being drafted, you said Danny D was saying he was drafted at 12. No, Drake London, not JJ. Oh, fourth round.
Yeah,
fourth round. Yes. They're just. Is Kirk Cousins that fucking valuable? I mean, is he that valuable? That these guys that have been major disappointments. I mean, you can blame it all on Desmond Ridder or whoever, Taylor Heineke or whoever scrub quarterback you want to name. But at the end of the day, maybe Kyle Pitts is overrated. Maybe Drake London's overrated. Maybe we just have to accept that. The Kyle Pitts is like the 12th best tight end and not the 3rd. Maybe we just need to accept that. And Drake London is the 27th best receiver and not the 12th.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at London, I mean, he's coming off in the fourth round. London's coming out. I mean, look at it. I mean, he's had over 100 some odd targets, but he hasn't produced any barely any touchdowns. Six
No!
touchdowns.
He's
Six
allergic
touchdowns?
to the end zone.
6 touchdowns
He-
in 2 years? Come on now.
Jay, he does the little Looney Tune thing where he tiptoed. He's like tiptoeing. He doesn't want to step into the end. He's allergic. He doesn't want to step into the end zone.
Unless this is going to be a different year because they have Kirk Cousins, but until we actually see that happen,
Yeah,
he's a wide receiver 2, wanting to be a wide receiver 1.
he's a wannabe.
Yeah, that's those. Yeah, those are kind of my thoughts too.
Okay, no, Jay, do not touch him. If he's whatever round receiver number, whatever your preference is, receiver 10, receiver 12, do not touch him there. Absolutely not. 4th round, I wouldn't even touch him there either.
Devontae Adams, Pittman, Evans, and DJ Moore all going in the 4th round there after him.
I'd take them all above. Yeah, I would take them all above Drake London. No hesitation.
Swing pick. Metcalf, Diggs, Waddle, Collins, Neighbors, and then Debo Samuel's in the 5th round there. So I think I would take all these guys over London myself.
I'd say I would say end of the 5th round, end of the 5th round probably for Drake London. What do you guys think? And then we'll start the draft.
I think he should fall. He should be in the 6th round. That's just me.
6th round.
Yeah.
What about you, D?
That's my.
I'd probably let him fall. He's just not my cup of tea at that 5th round turn area. I'm probably already picked a couple of wide receivers, and especially if it's super flex, I've been focused on at least one, depending on my draft spot. I'll have at least one QB and probably 2 receivers. So at that point, I'm probably going to be looking for a running back or something if it's available. So yeah, I'm going to let him fall. I'm going to pass him up. He's probably going to go there, but I'll pass him up. I just won't have him there. So yeah, I would say you have to be at end of the. If I'm on the swing on the end of the, 5th, then turning onto the 6th maybe in a 12 team or something. But yeah, I'm going to pass him early 5th.
All right. That was Overvalued 5. We did the value 5. Went shop. I got my little whatever the hell it is. Oh, yep. We went shopping.
There it is.
My little shopping cart here. Went shopping there.
You got all
Now
the tools.
draft.
All the stuff. Fire this jalopy up.
Right.
So I took the number 1 pick. So we got
why is that not being bigger for some odd reason? That's weird. That should be bigger. I don't know why that's so small for. Oh, probably because I'm trying to do a double screen here. That's probably why.
Not the first time you've heard that. No?
So yeah, I'm gonna try to. Let me see if I can just change this here once. The changes to here to here to here. Oh.
There you go.
Oh, was it bigger? All right.
It was. Yeah.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Let's see here. Let me pop it over here. Nope.
There you go.
Now I can't see you guys, but yeah,
That's
I guess we will get this draft underway then. It's pretty much we'll just kind of go as is. There's no timer on it, but we'll just kind of go through. It should go pretty quick.
Yeah.
Hopefully your buddy is here ready to draft, and we'll get this going. Oh, I guess there is a timer on there. I thought I shut that off.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We have a list of players up there too, or
no. This is you're drafting, boy.
Well, I know who I want, but I don't know who I'm going to want in the 11th round, motherfucker. Don't do this. I'm taking CMC number 1. Why the hell not? He's gonna fill the box. Yeah, absolutely. There we go. CMC number 1. He's gonna get you at least 1, possibly 2 100-yard receiving games. He's gonna get you a bunch of 100-yard rushing games. You're getting bonuses there. You're getting the touchdowns. You're getting the yards. The consistency if he stays healthy. I mean, there's no, as long as he stays healthy, you can't lose with Christian McCaffrey. So no brainer number 1.
Yeah. Yep. You could probably use your phone there, Eli, if you want.
And
Here, I'll pick him for you. Whoops.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
While you're waiting.
Okay, mock drafting. There we go. Okay. Oh, I got it, man. There we go. All right.
Is your kamikaze friend here?
Roll call. Daniel. Dan the man, where you at? We're drafting here.
Well, if not, I will set him to auto after this, and we'll just kind of keep going.
Well, he works for Safe Light. Safe Light Repair. Safe Light Repair. I think he said he was working on a customer or something, but we'll help you out with this first pick, and if you're still busy, dude, we'll put you on auto.
Oh, he's here. Here we go.
He's in.
And if you guys have any comments too, as well, while we are drafting, make sure you leave them in the comments down below. And while we're drafting, if you guys have any questions too, don't be afraid to jump in the chat. I mean, we have a solely lively chat room, but just jump on in, and we should have some fun.
Wow, it's loud. I got to turn all this noisemakers off here.
I like the Bijan pick. I think of the three Drake, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan. Bijan's going to be the biggest beneficiary of having Cousins there. I think that was a great pick in two. Tyreek, Lamb, Big D here. Ooh, we were just debating this a few minutes ago between JJ, Chase, St. Brown. Do you go with the running back here? Or do you go with Brees? I mean, this is a good little crux you got here.
This is a little crux. But did we say this? Let's see. We got to go with my boy.
Amon Ra.
Ooh,
that's my boy.
We got JJ and Jamar. We got Chase on the board. Oh, there's another guy I love that. I think he's the third best guy off this board. And,
yeah, you're damn right. You take
and I'm taking Brees Hall.
Good man.
All right, swing picks. We got Jefferson, Chase, Brown. Rhiannon Gibbs comes off the board, and it's back to me. Ooh. Now, do I want a wide receiver?
London's out of the way. That's good.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's actually pretty damn high when we said he should be a 6th rounder here.
How much would it? I got to ask Donovan. How much would it pain you to have to draft Devontae Adams here?
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Oh man. You want to go running back heavy here? I mean, I don't know.
Actually, I think I'm gonna go running back because I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Running back here.
I knew you were going to do that.
Only because Taylor's in the backfield where it's kind of open. We actually talked about this in our divisional previews. There's really nothing really left behind Taylor there. So he should be gone. He should be getting the bulk of the carries there too as well.
Yeah. That was a great pick and screwed me right over. But
being receiver one,
boy, I don't know. I see. I don't trust.
He might be. St. Brown. There was a reason why I said he'd have a bigger year than JJ. Like St. Brown, he might surprise some people, and because we know it's Lamb and Hill. That is a 1-2, and they're in a different zip code than 3 to But St. Brown of the mix could be the guy to jump up the 3. I think he kind of compete maybe with Tyreek and CD possibly. So I love the Donovan St. Brown pick. I was surprised there. I was surprised he took Josh Allen there.
It's against everything in my body, but
about time. We haven't. When's the last time we had a fully healthy Jonathan Taylor? Coming into a season. This is
it's honestly it's been a while here. So team forward, ES-Teen, Barkley, and Kamikaze is on the board again. I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see. If not, we'll make a pick for him. Oh, he went to Adams. Now we got the Mr. Eli on the board here. Which he got CMC, and now which direction are you going to go?
I hate. Well, I think Blake Corum at some point is going to take his job either at the end of this year, beginning of 2025. Not a Kyron Williams guy. I think he's overrated. Not saying he's not valuable. If this was the, end of the third round, beginning of the fourth round, and I was picking, I'd probably take Kyron Williams. But right now, just can't do it. Since I'm going back to back here, I'm going to get my tight end out of the way because I don't think he's going to drop off much from his rookie year. I'll be honest. I think Sam Laporta is here to stay. Might not finish every year as tight end 1. I mean, that's asking a lot, but being a top 5-6 guy is totally doable. So we're going to take Sam Laporta there, get the tight end out of the way.
Now he's back on the board there again now. Are we going would you go QB or actually get a high-end wide receiver? He's thinking.
Because the guy I want, I can get later at QB. I don't think you guys are going to jump me on that.
Well, hey, you never know what I might do.
Hold off on that. Yeah, right.
I might just pull a rabbit out of a hat, and you'd be like, "God damn it, dude!"
I'm gonna jump the gun a little bit because I think Mostart had his 15 seconds of fame. I don't think there's anybody else that really does it for me with the Miami backfield. A-Chain, he stays healthy. That's my guy.
Oh, A-Chain is not a bad pick for
Gonna vault, Jay. He's gonna vault into that next mix. That Jonathan Taylor realm, kind of that 4 to 8 running back range. I think he can get up there this year.
All right, we got Kamikaze on the board. Which way is he going? He's got Robinson and Adams. And is he actually going to go? No quarterbacks have come off the board yet. Oh, we have our second guy off the board.
Okay.
Oh, that's kind of surprising. Laporta and Kelsey are the 2 guys off the board right away. I would have thought maybe the computer would have gotten taken a couple more.
Hey, you guys have value coming up here in probably the 4th round. Trey McBride.
I'll tell you, I'm going to go with the man who wears.
Blow your load here. I think you need a running back here.
Yep, it's the Infinity Gauntlet himself. One last season, bring him to Baltimore.
D. Henry, baby.
There he is.
Oh, all right.
That's a juicy pick, but
Jay could use pretty much anything: quarterback, receiver, tight end.
I think I might be the first guy. I mean, do I want
you wouldn't take him this early, would you? I think you know who I'm looking at too.
I don't know. I mean, I got to choose between Jalen Hurts. I mean,
Jalen's overrated.
He's all right. Do I go with the guy who just is actually going to get the points? Do I go with the Holmes or do I go maybe a little bit younger and maybe go like a CJ Stroud or AR5? Maybe I'll get them later, but
I'm fighting to see what you guys do. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with wide receiver here. I need some wide receiver depth. I'm gonna go with
solid. He's gonna get his 1,100 yards. He's Olave solid like that.
Yep.
Waddle, Evans. Yep.
All right. So we actually had our second QB off the board. We had Diggs, Evans, Waddle, Nico Collins, and we actually had our first rookie coming off the board here. Oh wow, that's actually surprising. Neighbors before. Well, maybe their system is. I would have thought. Harrison would have been the first rookie off the board since he's, wide receiver 1 with the Arizona Cardinals. But I'm actually up here now, and I think
it's good news for me. He's in the queue. He's ready.
Actually, what's funny here? I think I know what I'm going to do here. I think I'm going to bypass Debo. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is right there, but you know what? I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Pittman right here.
Ooh,
solid.
I don't know, man. I think he's a little bit better than Drake London, but he's still that not definitive. He's like a 1A2, like a receiver 2. I don't know, but I don't know about those two. But then again, Debo, I don't trust Debo, so I would have gone probably Mahomes there, but that's let's see here.
I think I am going to pass up on Mahomes, but I'm going to take a second QB, and I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson.
Oh,
two QB.
And this is where I'm sure Kamikaze ends up taking Well, he can have his stack if he wants. And if you know, we mentioned earlier too, if you guys were here earlier, we kind of gave you a good roster construction of 3 QBs, 3 to 4 running backs, 5 to 6 wide receivers, and 2 to 3 tight ends. So it's kind of your idea of construction with a lot of these things. And then the other thing too is kind of doing some, I mean, I hate to blow the load already, but doing some stacks, kind of get some guys that'll kind of, it'll kind of boost your value a little bit too. So you kind of got some of those stacks in a lot of these best balls.
Yeah,
don't want to give
that would be a great listen to Jay on that. Dan, if you're listening there, listen to Jay on that. That'd be a great 1-2 combo. I mean, it's been proven for 5-6 years now. Mahomes and Kelsey, like you can't go wrong with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey there. Can't go wrong with CJ Stroud. CJ's gonna have a monster second year.
If not, I'll just give him I'll give him Patrick Mahomes and we'll move on.
Yep, that's fine. And I know which 2 guys I'm gonna take, so this will be quick. I'm going to take a third running back because why the hell not? I'm going to listen to Donovan there. Donovan stacks his running back room. I'm going to stack mine. And then we're going to take CJ.
CJ off the board. Ooh, all right. So Kamikaze, I did Mahomes for you, so you got a Kelsey stack. And now which direction is he going to go?
Let's see. He's got kind of can go anywhere here. I wouldn't take a second quarterback, but if you wanted to,
he goes Cup,
Cup
which is not a bad option there. I mean, it's with I think he's going to give some good value. What's that?
Oh, go ahead, Jay.
Oh no, I was just saying Cup that he, even though that what's it? I forgot what I was talking about here. Oh, Kua did come off the board, but yeah, I mean, for Cup being like kind of a wide receiver 1 or 2. I mean, that's not a bad option for him. Ooh. Well, I think I kind of need to tight in here.
You got to take Trey.
I got to get one of these guys up in here, so I'm going to go try Trey McBride here with this one. We got Pickens, Andrew, BK, Cooks comes off the board, Cooper, Allen, Flowers, Kamara. I'm back on the board, and I
wouldn't go with Walker. Wouldn't go with Pitts. AR, I'd take your quarterback right here. Yeah. That's who man. Yeah.
Yeah, you had no choice there.
Yeah. I was waiting for that swing pick, and I was gonna go with AR5 on that swing pick.
Jay, he stays healthy. He's gonna be in that mix. Trust me. Like he's gonna be right.
I think I think he'll end up kind of being in that, Jackson kind of talks with him where he's doing a lot of running. He'll get some sneaky touchdowns in there. And I think a lot of people, I mean, like I mentioned earlier too, that we saw a small sample size with him a little bit, and I just think that we haven't seen his ceiling yet. So I think his ceiling is whatever it might become. If he has a shitty year, then I think a lot of us are going to be more likely down on him.
Aaron Jones, ooh,
spicy.
Well, he does live in Minnesota. Could be a homer pick there.
I could smell that.
What? Okay, you're a Packers fan. I'll make my pick here, but Donovan, kind of what's left of Aaron Jones? I mean, you're a Packer guy. Like what?
Yeah, it's a good best ball pick because he's going to have a 100-yard game here or there, right? Like it's going to happen. And what's left in the tank is to be seen. Dan. Like the guy, he's just he's had a lot of miles on him, right? And the injuries are starting to pile up, starting to nag on him. So, he made 17 games in 2022, but he's never been that every single week back outside of that 1 year. So it's a chance. And now that I think he's 29 this year, like he'll have a 100-yard game in him. So it's a good pick for best ball, and that's a good value for him. I just can't take traders anymore. So I drafted with emotion.
And Daniel goes to say past fantasy points is the best indicator for future fantasy points. Couldn't agree more.
And yeah, no, absolutely. Danny D, great point there. Donovan, let us know about Aaron Jones. You know what? I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't take T. Higgins when he's sitting there. You know, I was just talking the guy up. So obviously, taking T. Higgins. And also be a hypocrite, conversely, if I sit here and talk up Kyle Pitts, and I'm not. So I'm taking my second tight end. I'm taking George Kittle.
Ooh.
Nice tight end room there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 16. One more.
So we actually had our never mind. So previously Marvin Harrison did come off the board. I didn't see that up in the corner there. So he went off the board in second round, then Neighbors, and then
Marv
we just
Jr.
had
Yep.
yeah. Then we had Odunze come off the board here in the 7th round, which is for me, I guess, is not a bad upside pick just because he's gonna be more likely wide receiver 3. And yeah, the other thing is too, we mentioned too when we were talking about the Bears in our divisional previews, is that which you can go back and check our playlist on YouTube. So if you want to get into a little of the Bears talk, go over there, and I have that time code set. So I just go over there and click on Bears, and you can go watch the Bears preview. We mentioned that Allen is he'll probably miss some games. He's kind of one and done there. He'll probably one season there and be done. And Odunze will probably be the wide receiver 2 in 2025.
Jake. You are.
I was getting to that point there.
You tagged me in the match. 2025, like Jay was saying, receiver 2. Absolutely. Keenan's a 1-year guy. He might retire, might go to another team, try to win a Super Bowl. To be seen yet, but I think it's just a 1-year experiment. Donovan, nice pick there. Jaden Reed. I think Jaden Reed's got some serious upside too. I mean, when we were doing the Packers, didn't we say Jaden Reed was possibly receiver 1?
Maybe 2.
You got Christian Watson over him or Dobbs?
Dobbs should be wide receiver 1, and then kind of Watson probably 2. I think that's what we were kind of talking about.
What do you think, Donovan? Like Packer wise, is it Dobbs, Reed, Watson, Reed, Dobbs? Like what order would you put those 3 guys in?
Dobbs is going to have the most snaps. Whether or not it equals production, that's yet to be seen. I think when Watson's out there, they're going to feed him the ball as much as they can, which should open up, Dobbs and Jaden Reed if he's double covered. But I personally don't have. Watson doesn't have a very good track record. So what was the comment? Past injury results are what is it? Indicators of future injury results. With Watson, that's pretty true. The guy just hasn't. I don't care what surgery he got to realign his quads or whatever it was. Like the guy's injury prone, and
he reminds me, Donovan. He reminds me of Jameson Williams.
Yeah,
where it's like he's got all the potential in the world to be a 1, and it's just it's for some weird reason I don't know. There's something off. There's just
I don't like the way it's trending, and it's fine when he's on the field. He's an absolute freak, but he has to be there to be that freak. So
absolutely, Jay took previous round. He took Rashee Rice, and then he took Najee. I like that Najee pick there.
Yeah.
Middle of the 8th round. I think that's perfect for him.
So I'm really I backed myself in a corner here.
Go up. Let's see. Receiver 2. So you got your QBs out of the way. Probably use another running back.
Oh yeah, I know, but see, this is the problem I get into is
Zamir White's a feature. So, Donovan, I mean, we talked smack about the Raiders. Trust me, I laid some down. But Zamir White's going to be the feature guy. There's no competition. So I mean, you could probably save face here in the 8th round by taking Zamir White.
Team 3 took him because I took Brooks, but
I was going to say that Brooks is not a bad pick right there either. And I think with White and being a best ball, I think he'd be more of your double-digit rounds. You can get him more later than here because I still think there's some good. There's still some good guys up in here, up in here in this round, anyways. Yeah,
I'm gonna be 100% raw right here, and I really failed to realize this is a 10 team, and I should not have picked the quarterback that early, but it is what it is. It totally spaced on me, and you know what? This is how we learn and grow. So
it is.
Danny D loves Reed too. I do. I think Jaden Reed's the one. I know Jay said Dobbs, but I think Jaden Reed's the one.
Dobbs,
like
I
with
said,
him.
there it is.
Michael Thomas. I know. Well, maybe the 2022 Michael Thomas, but not. I mean, at one time the guy was a fucking reception machine, but
no, he's saying he's the new Michael Thomas is being injured and not playing.
Oh yeah, well that too. You know what? Because I was talking this guy up too when we were doing the preview last week. Got to take him here, Brock Purdy. So take him over your boy Love. Sorry, not sorry. Let's see what we got here. So we're taking you. I mean, you're getting three guys. This is expert analysis here. You're getting all the thought process of our picks. Took CMC, A-Chain, White. So running back room is good for a while. Won't take another running back until later in the draft. Tight end. The tight end room is fine right now. Might take a third one late in the draft, but Laporta and Kittle, you don't need anybody else. Two quarterbacks here: Stroud, Purdy. So I mean, it comes down to you'll probably need another receiver. Probably take the second receiver here. So what do we have on the board? You know what? He's always a safe bet, and some years are better than others, but he's always around that 1,000-yard mark, 900-yard mark. Can't go wrong. Chris Godwin there, just solid.
Answers I have, but first I must know the question.
Shakespearean.
So if you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to drop your questions in the live chat. We'll answer them while we are drafting. I mean, this is just a best ball draft. It's kind of a draft and go. These are kind of fun. You don't have to worry about just you just kind of pop in, see how your team's doing, and just kind of move on. I mean, these are the kind of things that that if you don't have the time for it, this is kind of your best way to go. As I would say, this is a nice platform for an Eli because he's kind of a one and done kind of deal.
I'll give you a one and done, big boy.
Oh, okay. So we had Eli takes Purdy, Godwin, Mostert, Addison, Worthy, and
love that Jake Ferguson pick, Donovan.
Donovan takes Ferguson. So I'm back on the board here.
He's the third receiver there, right? Even though he plays tight end, there's nobody else. So
yeah. Well, I mean, there is. I mean, you have Cooks, and then you got Tolbert in there. They're kind of making a little fuss. I think Tolbert we'll kind of see some upside with Tolbert later on.
He has that. Donovan's got that look on his face, like motherfucker, please. Stop naming off these scrubs. It's CD and Jake Ferguson.
Even though Calvin Ridley is right there, I think I'm gonna go for a little bit lower pick here. I think I'm gonna take the next rookie off the board here and see what happens. I'm gonna go Ladd just because it seems like
number one receiver and
he's a number one receiver.
So we had Ridley, Johnson, Caleb Williams finally comes off the board. We have Hollywood Brown, then the swing pick, Williams, Chubb, Hopkins, Zach Moss. I'm back on the board now.
I think for Nick Chubb. Zach Moss should have gone over him. But.
I got some more options here, and let's see here. It's for tight end. We got Joe Q, Dallas. We have Goddard, Hawkinson. What?
Pull up, see what you want to pull up your team quick so we can see what, and then you can.
So I got Breece Hall. So pretty much I got Breece Hall, Taylor, Olave, Pittman, McBride, Richardson, Rice, Harris, McConkey. So
second QB here. Second QB here. Maybe Jordan Love.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I was kind of thinking. Do I want to get another QB here? You want to at least have 3 by the end of the draft or so. And if that's the case, I would have to, at least try to maybe pair. If I do go with Love, I would have to try to pair him with, at least a wide receiver, from the Packers, or, I would, if you take one of these other quarterbacks late, I would at least try to get one of their pairings at least, if all possible, at least to make it some kind of upside at least. All right. I think screw it. I'm going Herbert. No, I don't want that one. I'm going Herbert.
Ooh,
Herbert.
I like that. He's gambling a little bit there. I like
Yeah.
Which
Just
puts
because
me
the-
in the tough spot because
Well,
just
he
because
took
just-
Jay he'd be a hypocrite if he didn't. He was just talking up Lad. You want the receiver quarterback combo there, or a receiver tight end, maybe a receiver quarterback tight end. So it makes sense.
yeah, as much as I want to take Jordan Love, I cannot do that to my team having 2 quarterbacks already. I don't think he should be there, and I actually thought you would have taken him there. So I'm probably going to focus more on running back right now, just because out of straight need. Who am I going to take though? The sky is the limit. It's just a matter of hitting the right ones, and I like his ability to potentially have a key share and also play in the running game. So I'm going to go with Jalen Warren.
Not a bad option there. Especially we're getting into double digit rounds. Warren is not a bad option. Eckler, I probably want to be drafting him because I want to be drafting.
See how you really feel. He's shot. Take him out back.
Yeah.
Garbage goober. Get out here and eat this garbage.
Yeah. And I think he actually came off the board before Brian Robinson, which is a joke.
Nice.
Frozen.
I like what you're doing there. My friend Dan, he had he took Mahomes, took Jordan Love. That's not a bad 2 quarterback room. Probably want to take one more. I wouldn't go any lower than maybe Geno Smith. Once you get past Geno, you get into the muck. You're getting into the mud. So if you see, if your third quarterback, if you see Geno or Baker, Aaron Rodgers, guys like that are there, you need to snag one of them. But yeah, 2 of them so far. You know what? I'm going to take my third guy here. I was just talking him up in the last segment. I have A-Chain, I guess. I don't have Waddle or Tyreek, obviously, to team up with, but I'm going to get my third quarterback here. I'm going to take Tua. Get him out of the way. So we got 3 quarterbacks. Good to go. Going to need another receiver. I'm not big on Brian Thomas Jr. from Jacksonville.
Why not?
But Lockett, until they're traded, until DK or Lockett is traded, JSN is still a borderline 3, maybe a 2. Maybe he's over Lockett at this point. But Keon Coleman, you know what? Let's get some youth on the team. Let's kick the tires on a rookie. It's going to be him and Shakur are going to be the 1-2 in Buffalo, or Shakur, Keon 1-2. So we're going to take Coleman there. Get a third receiver.
Yeah, I like being on the ends for these best balls, especially because you could stop the bleeding or start the panic for everybody real quick
right
on the ends.
Yeah. What do they call it? What do they call it, Donovan? Shit stirring. Stirring the shit.
So one thing interesting I noticed is now, granted it's auto, there's a couple teams like Team 3 and Team 9. Well, most of the auto pick teams that did not have a quarterback until late, but Team 3 just took their first quarterback with Jared Goff. That's pretty interesting to me. And then Team 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers in a row. That's pretty interesting. Very important to me, especially
a depth, but you don't.
Yeah, but 6 is a little obsessive, I think.
And the running back room is shit. Nick Chubb isn't going to be Nick Chubb anymore. Ramondre Stevenson, ick.
Well, you can think of it this way. At least he's got 5 to 6 wide receivers already. So now, his running back room, it might be kind of chalky, and that's the thing about best balls is you're kind of taking a swing pick with some of these guys, especially with and the other thing too is that you kind of don't want to match some of your guys that are kind of on the same buy. You say yeah. So say Herbert and frickin' Dak have the same buy. so that's not going to help you out any. That's gonna it's gonna hurt you for points wise. So I don't know. Do best balls kind of represent kind of more like your roto style? You're kind of gathering more your points than anything, if all possible, trying to maximize your points.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think best ball, you're looking more for those guys that have those pop games, like you were saying earlier.
Yep.
Rather than, it's not about, roto is how do I get to the 180 points on the year? Like we'll use like a Cooper Cup. He could be injured for 2 games, but we know he's going to have X amount of stats, right? XYZ stats.
Yeah, he'll make up for it. Yeah, he'll make up for it later in the year if he misses.
Best ball, you need those 100 plus yard games and 2 touchdowns. Those are the ones you're looking for. Those the guys that shine big every once in a while.
Yep.
Those 2 of my freaking running backs.
What are we in need of here, Donovan?
I'm probably still going. So my strategy was load up in the beginning with wide receiver and quarterback, and then cherry pick these middle running backs that have a chance to take over. Like I think Brown is going to be the starting running back in Cincinnati.
I do too.
And Moss is just going to be mop up again, even though they paid him. I think that's how it's going to work. But guys like, and then Brian Robinson was another target of mine that I probably should have taken him here, but I thought it would swing by. So, but Benson, we're just waiting for that Connor injury, and then he could be the dude. Spears, he only has so long without an ACL, so they might as well burn him up this year, right? And I'm not a Pollard guy, so those are the guys that I was looking for and going to lean on. So now I got to really scratch my head here and figure something else out. So at this point, here's one I'm going to take. We talked about him earlier. There's one. There's another one. Yeah.
I was thinking about 4. Then I'm like, well, I was thinking maybe another wide receiver, and I'm like, and Anodyne was kind of right there in that mix, and I'm like, well, it kind of hurts me already because I had Pittman, but it might help me in the end, but it might hurt me at the same time. But with Anodyne maybe being kind of a wide receiver 2, maybe the first couple of weeks, that might benefit me a little bit, but all in all, it might hurt me too at the same time.
And with Quorum went right after. He's another one that Kerryon Williams is made of paper mache, and he could break at any minute. So like that could be a
he could be a 1 year. Could be a 1 year guy, Jay. McVay. He could plug another guy in there. This guy was a 6th round pick. It could very easily be, and Blake Corum's got a pedigree. I get hard talking about Blake Corum. 27 touchdowns last year at Michigan. Did I mention that? Huh? You see why I like Gus the Bus? And see, look at that right there. That is some serious 12th round.
Yeah,
sign me
up. That's a value. I
was actually hoping he'd fall to me, but
Watson just went.
Yeah, I was actually, if I didn't take Schultz, I was actually trying to take Ed. I was going to take Edwards right there where Anodyne is, but I didn't notice he went right before that. So I was like, oh shit. So I was going to try to have a Herbert, McConkey, and Edwards stack there, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen how I wanted it to.
That Watson pick is a screaming value, I think, for a best ball format, because when he is healthy, those 4 games, he's going to have 100 yards and 2 to 3 touchdowns. So, but
Jay, you can lick my ass because I'm about to take your boy here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sutton and Cortland Sutton. You can say whatever you want. He's Denver's number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
So and according to Jay, Dobbs is Green Bay's number 1 receiver. So you get back-to-back number 1 receivers, whether they're shitty teams or not. So they're going to get targets. There's going to be opportunities to have 100-yard games. So I think they have some best ball value. Cortland Sutton had 10 touchdowns last year. Dobbs is always, if Love keeps up what he was doing, Dobbs is going to get at least 7-8 touchdowns. Probably a couple 100-yard games. So and to get him in the 13th round, hell yeah.
I'm hoping my next pick falls to me here.
Elliott comes off the board.
Yes.
Jaden Daniels, Lawrence. Oh.
So this is just pure strategy, and it provides me a running back, what I would think to be the entire year. And this will cover my earlier pick of Brooks.
There we go.
Chuba, don't call me Chubba Hubba Hubba.
So it's not great, but it gives me that chance those first couple of weeks if Brooks doesn't make it back in time.
Yep. Yeah. No. Nice insurance
That's
policy there.
all security there. Yeah.
With
Shakur Jay.
I was just looking at that too, because with Woman coming off the board here, Curtis is coming in, and I'm like, ooh, we have some nice decent picks here, and I was like, I was just thinking about that, and I think I'm going to take Shakir here.
Nice.
I'm going to take an upside risk here. He it's possible he could, for I think the first couple weeks here, I think he will be like the wide receiver 1 until Coleman does kind of get acclimated to the system. And then Shakir will probably end up being your wide receiver 2 more than likely. And I think Shakir was more your slot guy, I believe. I'll have to go check that out and see if that's where he was.
I think Shakur can do a little bit of everything. I still remember that kid at Boise State, and he's playing behind Stephon Diggs. Ate a lot in that offense. I mean, that's a lot of 160 targets to disperse between Kincaid and him, and getting rid of that bum Gabe Davis. Getting Shakur in that, what was that, 14th round, 13th round?
Yep, 13th round.
14th round or 13th round. That's hell of a value there. Aaron Rodgers, 14th round. That's some great value. Stafford, if he stays healthy, I mean, that's some super value. Cousins too.
So I'm in dilemma here. I'm pretty much. I got a couple running backs. I'm kind of gonna need a running back here. I think I'm gonna need a running back here, and I'm trying to figure out who do I want to kind of take a risk on here in the double-digit rounds. And even though he might be a rookie, I'm gonna go with Marshawn Lloyd.
He might end up being their feature guy. So Marshawn Lloyd. So
even though I don't really like the guy, but it's a kind of it's an upside pick where he'll probably end up, when the season does start, he'll be the running back 2 more than likely behind
minimum running back, for sure.
Yeah. So we're kind of getting down there. We got just a few more picks to go, and then we will wrap up our show.
Well,
and
we talked about this earlier.
What's the thought process here, D?
There is absolute garbage at tight end. I have 6 running backs and nothing. I mean, there's one that jumps up. Did we say 6 was the top on this?
No, for what?
Running backs?
I think 5 to 6, I think.
And I'll leave that alone. Then I'm going to go with my third QB, and it's what we talked about earlier. It'll be Baker. Because Aaron Rodgers just went, so.
I can pop this back up here again real quick. So pretty much what if you guys are watching here real quick, it's 3 QBs, 3 to 4 running backs, 5 to 6 running backs, 2 to 3 tight ends, and watch your buy. So we're getting kind of close to the end. I'll just pop this up real quick, just because we're getting to the end of our drafts. These are kind of your give or take roster constructions when you do your best ball drafts. So these are just kind of your quick overview real quick.
Yeah. So I got 6 running backs, so I went a little on the other side of that original strategy, but that would be my strategy every time.
I like it. Professor. I got the 2 Millers here. I got Professor Miller on the left and Professor Miller on the right. Educating you all on the wonders of Bestball. So to fill out my team here, so we're gonna need a third tight end here. Let's see what we have on the board. Probably get Chig a little later. You know what? I've been like I said, I have to back up what I'm saying. I said all off season, I'm like, this guy is a young stud. He's gonna be there. I don't care what Zach Ertz is doing. Okay, he's gonna be their feature guy. And let's try to find him here. Let's see. No, we're not sorting by. Where are we at here? Ben Sinnott.
Oh, you.
Beautiful.
Who the hell is this guy?
I had to put the specs.
You dirty dog! I was actually going to take him when
I know you were.
Swing pick.
I know you were.
God,
it's going to you. Let's see here. So we got the third tight end, which I like. The third guy, he potential. Let's see what he does in Washington. Just probably park him on the bench. Nice spot for him. Gonna have to add that fourth running back here. So let's go and let's look.
We're kind of getting down to the nitty gritties with these running backs here.
Nitty gritty. The nitty gritty. I could probably get him a little bit later. I was thinking Tracy from the Giants.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I think I can get him at the next go around. And I don't think any of you guys are gonna jump me on that. So let's do Tony Franklin. Let's see. Roman, a lot of rookies here and the receivers. Let's take the young kid from Carolina. Let's park him on the bench. Let's see if he can jump up over Thielen. Let's see if he can jump up over Deontay Johnson. Maybe Xavier Leggett will maybe he'll emerge. So
that's actually not a bad pick there at all. I mean, look at kind of
6. Yeah, he's worth taking a flyer on for sure.
For sure.
Yep.
See what the windshield guy. Let's see what he's thinking here.
Oh, he takes Watson. We got that. Wait,
I bet Deshaun Watson's done some interesting things to some windows. If you catch.
Oh,
yeah, that's nasty.
Oh.
Let's see here. God, he's such a bum.
What are we working with here? Well, let's look at that. We haven't done this in a few rounds. Let's look at the team here. Let's look at the construction. So you got 4 receivers.
Yeah.
3 QB. I like all your QBs. Those are great. Your quarterback room is the strength of the team.
Definitely.
Probably use another tight end.
Yeah, but I think I can wait with what's left. That's what I was just looking at. Like Cade Otton doesn't do anything for me. Conklin, there's Chig, but I think I can get him a round or 2 yet before I need him. And if I don't get Chig, then I guess I go with Taysom Hill. So,
yeah.
Hey, could be worse.
So I think, for me, like, I don't know. This is a guy that I don't know what his role really is going to be, or if it's really there's two guys I'm down it. Like Gabe Davis, because he always has that big game potential, or the one that I was thinking of, and I'm going to take him just for flair. And that's Darnell Mooney with the Rondale Moore. With the Rondale Moore injury. So hear me out.
We have a Darnell Mooney signing. Oh man.
I guess it's not a bad option for with the Falcons. I guess. I mean,
remember that one year when he was good?
Yeah. I was just gonna say he had 1,000-yard.
2021 guys. 1,000-yard season. So, and that was still.
Hey, what if he fucks up and finds a quarterback that can get him the football? I'm taking Darnell Mooney. This is the best ball. This is how we live.
This is the best. Yeah, living his best life with the best ball.
This is the world we live in.
So since we're kind of getting down there, I need another quarterback, and I'm gonna take Will.
Jamie's been talking about him all off season, so he's backing it up. I love it.
The guy who puts frickin' nail in his coffee. Oh, there goes Taysom Hill.
And Tracy comes off the board too. There goes Eli's pick too. So he's like, so I know I need a tight end here too, and it's kind of it's going to be kind of one of these upside picks. It's either I go with Cade, Hunter Henry, Chig, and I think I might go Hunter Henry here just because they're gonna need some guys to toss to. They're lack of
running back.
Just because
I like Hunter as your tight end 3. Yeah, no problem with it.
So now
he'll pop. I mean, he was the only guy in that, him and a little bit of Demario Douglas from that pathetic Patriots offense last year. Henry was one of the few bright spots. So bunch of tight
And
ends. Here.
now we got tight ends. Then we got
There's
Kamikaze.
Chig. That was a pick for MJ.
I got fucked on running back, and you got fucked on tight end.
My best ball season is in MJ Govier's hands now with Chiga Conco.
Oh my!
I mean, what about Colby Parkson? He kind of is the tight end there. Down in with the Rams. It's not a bad option. Sanders is I think we talked about him a little bit. He might be the tight end one down there too as well. So I mean, there's a couple guys there. Ooh, Eli takes Ray Davis.
Baby.
That was a good pick.
We've been talking him up too. James Cook has got the job for now. He's coming. Ray Davis.
That was a good pick this late for sure.
Oh,
I would have taken Ray. I would have taken Davis over Tracy, Vidal, Gibson for sure. Yeah, Chandler, pick them up in front of all those guys.
This is tough because now we got to start weighing in buys and man, now you're looking at backups at running backs. That's the only position I really need is running back. Elijah Mitchell, I think he's going to be running back 3 by the time the season starts. You know what? What the hell? I took a shot away. You know what? We're gonna have the whole Bucks backfield here. We're gonna take Bucky. We're taking Bucky.
Do it for Bucky.
Do it for Bucky.
Got Jared Judy, Rashid, and we have Palmer coming off the board, and then back to Donovan here.
Shaheed had some game. He had a couple like top 5 receiver games last year. So Shaheed there is a nice steal in the 17th round. He was in consideration. If it hadn't have been T. Higgins, Rashid Shaheed would have been probably in my top 5 somewhere.
And
so
I was going to take him instead of Chig, and if I would have taken him, I would have bet that the next, that Chig would have been gone, and I would have been scratching my head even far harder on tight ends. So I think, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see which way we go.
What are we looking at tight end here? Oh God, Noah Fant. Ick.
No, I don't think I think I'm going to pass on tight end, grab a wide receiver here. I'm probably just going to go with Gabe Davis here and hope for the best.
Oh, I'm staying away from that guy. Since we're kind of talking about rookies here, and there's a couple rookies here that I kind of eye in here, and that it's a long shot, but we got either Jalen Polk or Roman Wilson here, they have some potentials of actually having some good games. They got some upside, especially this late with actually taking a flyer here, and I'm like, do I want Polk? And
I think they've been. I know it's the Patriots and they're awful, but they've been talking up Polk this offseason. So
yeah, so I'm kind of head turning. I'm like, what do I go here? I think I'm going to take Polk here just for a long shot, and there goes most of my stuff there. And we actually coming up to our last pick. Let me look here at my roster real quick. I think I might need one more running back in here since I only got 4. So let's I gotta try to at least get one more running back up in here. And I know there's really not much of any upside with some of these.
I never trust Javonte Williams' health. So I mean, Estime and McLaughlin might end up being the 1-2 there. I mean, if Javonte goes down again.
I'm just kind of looking at rookies here. Let's do an overview real quick.
Labe might be interesting because he could do a bunch of different roles for the. I mean, we had a player profile on him for the Raiders. So Dylan Labe there. Let's see, Roshan's going to catch balls. I don't think he's going to pop any games, so that's really not worth. Keaton Mitchell, your boy.
I with this one, I think I might. I don't want any of him.
Isn't that crazy how in 2 years, like, we won't even touch Damian Pierce with a 10-foot pole?
Yeah. It was all the hotness for a long time.
2020, halfway through 2022, the guy's the talk of the running back NFL, and now it's like nobody will touch the guy. It's insane.
We're going with the rookie here.
Sanders. Quentin Johnson at the end of our draft, who could be possible wide receiver 2 or 3 in my eyes, but I'm hoping that he has a rebound season, a better season 2. But that's
Yeah.
just me. That's what I mentioned.
About that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're wrapping up our last couple picks here. We'll just kind of run over our teams and thoughts here real quick, and then I will get our show wrapped up. But we appreciate everybody who jumped in our live comments or live chat. We appreciate all those. We appreciate all the views. If you guys haven't, make sure you guys give us a like, give us a subscribe if you like what you saw here. We're not sure what we're gonna do next week yet, so we're just kind of up in the air right now. I know we'll sooner or later we'll be kind of bringing some college stuff a little bit. We'll do some college stuff. Eli and I and Donovan's been doing some doing some drafts with us as well. Maybe he'll jump in with us too. So who knows? We'll just kind of see what happens there. But yeah, make sure you guys just follow us on the Spotify and the freaking Apple and all those good fun places. All of our social media are in the link in the description below as well. But yeah, we'll kind of wrap up here quick. I took LeBeau. Donovan took Sanders, and then we had Elijah Mitchell, and then Eli took Estime at the end. And it's very possible that Estime could, he'll probably see a little work in there too. I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll be at the goal line work. And I think we talked about that in our preview in the AFC West preview. So if you want to go and check that. So if you want to go check that out, that's on our playlist too as well too.
Yeah, I think there's some guys here, and you just need a week or a couple weeks for these lower round picks or guys you're gonna maybe pick up. Or I mean, I guess waivers isn't really that big of a thing with best ball, but especially for these guys we drafted late, we just need a couple. You just need a couple pops because you're not expecting. I mean, you're expecting your heavy hitters, CMC. Your Kelseys, your Josh Allens, your St. Browns. You're expecting those guys are damn near every week if they're healthy. Like they're gonna
And the other thing too is you're kind of drafting to just in case like these wide receiver 2s or 3s. In case wide receiver 3 goes down. Maybe that
one goes down or blown coverage, and you end up with an 80-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And then the guy ends up rest of the game could be shit. But he ends up like Donovan Peoples-Jones was notorious for this. The kid with the Lions and the Browns, there'd always be a game where a couple games a year where you have 3 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Just pieced. Wasn't target a lot, but just would piece it together. And so that with this best ball stuff, it's that's why in the past we talked up Gabe Davis, MVS. Peoples-Jones, guys that would have been lower round picks, and they weren't drafted. Some of those guys weren't drafted here, but you just need a few of these guys to pop. You need to have a 3-catch, 95-yard touchdown game, and then maybe you end up with, the 10th ranked receiver that week.
Yeah. So
here's a fun stat. Quick, did you know that every 100-yard game Darnell Mooney ever had, he did not accompany that with a touchdown? That's a fun fact.
Oh, of course. Of course.
So do not draft.
Maybe
draft Moody
this year with
This is the year. Because I drafted him into best ball.
Sweet Jesus.
Oh.
Jesus.
But anyways,
Yeah.
I'll give you an overview of our teams real quick. So Eli had McCaffrey, Laporta, A-Chain, White, Stroud, Higgins, Kittle in the 7th. We got Purdy, Godwin, Tua, and then we have Coleman, Sutton, Dobbs, Sinnott in the 14th. Then we had Leggett, and then he went running back heavy at the end with Ray Davis, Bucky, and Estime. And then we have Donovan, who went St. Brown, Allen, Henry, Jackson. He went Smith, Kirk, Reed. He went wide receiver heavy. Then he went Brooks, Ferguson. Then he went on a running back heavy round there with Warren, Brown, Ford, and Chuba. And then he ends up with Mayfield, Mooney, and Okonkwo, Davis, and Sanders to wrap up his later drafts there.
I like that. It's good draft.
Yeah, and then I went Breece Hall, Taylor. Then I went Olave, Pittman, then McBride, who actually kind of fell here a little bit. Then I took Richardson, hopefully that he can bring a little upside to my team. Then we went Rice for a little. We'll see what happens pick because I love Rice, even though he had a little incident. So I don't think he's going to be missing any time. So then I went with Harris there, and then I went McConkey, Herbert. And then we went Schultz, Mitchell, Shakir, Lloyd, took Levis, Henry, Polk, and Labau there at the end there. So just kind of a quick overview.
The big Le Bleu.
Le bleu.
What I would say
He's
my
French.
team's what I say my team's great. I'd give this a B minus.
He's too modest. Golly gee, shucks. Oh shucks, fellas. I got a B minus here. I give you a B. I give Donovan a B. Me a B. It was B's all around. Nobody was getting. There weren't any teachers' pets here. No A pluses to be handed out. No gold stars either. Just a shopping cart, some shades.
Yeah.
I think like if we went and plugged this into the Fantasy Pros whatever evaluator, like I'm going to have not as strong of a team. And again, like Eli called out earlier, QB room, we're good, but I need running backs to come to relevance. That's what I need. And that's how I drafted. So if I was into more best balls, I would draft probably 20 of these things and I would have a different strategy for each one. So that's kind of how I would play best balls. I don't personally gamble a lot. So that's why I don't do a lot of best balls because they're more of the, throw your 50 in and hope for the best type of thing. I'm more of the dynasty or, even redrafts get boring. I like the strategy. I like to win. I don't care about the money. I just like making everybody suffer every year. So that's mine.
Just backed out. I love it.
Yeah. So that's kind of my format. And these are the teams I draft. This is kind of how I draft. I need them to hit. If they don't hit, you throw them away and start a new one. But that's
what I do with my women. So
there it is.
Yeah.
We don't hit.
Yeah, that's 17. We broke.
Sweet Jesus.
We some special effect music or something. We broke world champ here.
Oh yeah. Other than that, just quickly, I'll just put this back up briefly because we're getting at the end of the show, just in case anybody pops in at later on in the show or whatever toward the end. So just a quick overview. 3 QBs, 3 to 4 running backs, 5 to 6 wide receivers, 2 to 3 tight ends. And it might be a little bit different if you're doing, kind of that DK 20 round. It might, subside a little bit different. Maybe 5 running backs, 6 wide receivers, maybe still 3, maybe 3 to 4 tight ends. It all kind of vary, so that all might change too a little bit, if you're doing a 20 round. So that might change just a little bit too as well up in there. But other than that, I hope everybody kind of enjoys what they saw. Make sure you guys give us a like and a follow on the X. Donovan's over there on Spitting Seeds. He's over there. You can see his at Spitting Seeds over there, BB. But yeah, other than that, make sure you find, I mentioned earlier, all of our audio. Other than that, is there anything else? Like and subscribe to the channel. And is there anything else you like?
Donovan, did you have any baseball plugs before we go?
Real quick. I mean, we're getting into the silly season for baseball, so start looking at a lot of your trade windows are gone. So a great time. Like we saw Jack Flaherty go over to the Dodgers. Everybody's pounding their chest thinking about all the wins they're going to get. But remember, the Dodgers love to play with those pitchers and phantom IL stints and things like that. Just kind of know do some research on who's on your team and be prepared for your playoff stretch if you're in the playoffs. That an everyday starter may not be an everyday starter coming up. Look at what they're doing with Garrett Crochet. I mean, he brought you to the playoffs this year, and he's going to make you shit the bed because they're holding on to their resources, the White Sox have nothing going for them, and they're starting to play games with Garrett Crochet. So it's really like you need to really take a hard look at your team. If you do have the ability to trade yet, I would get rid of some of those guys like Stat. Look at guys coming, River Ryan is a hot pickup for the Dodgers, but again, that's going to be a 6-man rotation. Guys coming off the IL. Merle Kelly's coming back. If you have the ability to trade for him, that's cool. Robbie Ray came back recently. He's right back to stud status. So yeah, it's Gabriel Moreno with a big injury, and Govier called out. Oh boy, I can't even think of the name of the catcher for the the Diamondbacks. It's getting called up. That could be a hot pickup. There's a lot of movement right now, and depending on the size of your league, I just advise you going into the playoffs not to be comfortable with your team where it's at, and be prepared to make some bold moves as the playing time kind of gets really goofy. Rosters expand. Don't be the first one on these late season call-ups. It's just to get them a cup of coffee and get them in the clubhouse now, not like it used to be. Used to be waiting on the call-ups and just jumping all over them. Now they're just up there to sniff the dugout and kind of see how it's going. So
yeah, don't forget DeGrom too as well. Yeah, if
DeGrom's
he's out
coming
there,
back.
yeah. So if he's out there, go snag him up, put him up on your ILs too. I got a couple shares of him. I snagged him like a month ago just so that I have him. So when he does come back, I got him. I actually was lucky enough to get Robbie Ray in the league at least, so I was kind of happy about that. So, but yeah, other than that, I think that kind of covers it. We've gone over almost 2 hours and a half. It's been kind of long, but we actually before we started, we gave you some, some flyers. I mean, some guys to kind of stay away from, and we jumped into our kind of our mock draft. So Eli is kind of like,
I'm doing math in my head here. I'm like, the only question I had, guys, because I'm more of the consensus guy. I'm just wondering, are the White Sox going to win 40 games? That's the only question. I keep looking up at the screen. I'm like, loss.
Unbelievable that people pay money to go see that. Still, it's weird.
Yeah, call up Frank Thomas or some Paul Konerko, somebody. Man,
bring them back, yeah, right?
Mark Burley.
Burley, yeah.
All right.
He could probably still pitch a no-hitter against the White Sox.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think it's time for us to get up out of here. Give us a subscribe to our channel. Hopefully everybody kind of gets a little overview of a best ball format, how to do your roster constructions. And we'll be back probably next Wednesday. Hopefully we'll have another guest. I'm not sure yet. We'll kind of see how that goes. But yeah, we're open for guests anytime, so yeah, don't be scared to send us a DM.
We're like the fantasy version of fucking Oprah or Ellen or something. Come on and talk. I'll pull up a chair.
Yeah. All right, guys.
He just keeps going.
So
cut us off before he gets to 20.
Yeah. From Modern Rhythm, I'm Jamie. That's Eli. And don't forget to give Donovan a follow over on X. All right, we'll catch you guys next time. Later.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
See you.